in this maze, but I could love you forever if you'd meet my gaze. Don't fall in love with the man on stage. I'll be on in a minute, I'm just sharpening my blade. Don't fall for his flattering tune. He'll promise you the world until you drink that perfume. It's a highway, highway to the door. And a neon Medusa's got your heart. Sweet canyon lullabies, don't look straight in Don't fall for the monsters in this maze, but I could love you forever if you'd meet my gaze. Don't fall in love with the man on stage. I'll be on in a minute, I'm just sharpening my blade. Don't fall for his flattering tune. He'll promise you the world until you drink that perfume. It's a highway, highway to the door. And a neon Medusa's got your heart. Sweet canyon lullabies. Don't look straight into its eyes. It's a highway, highway to the door. There's only two ways to make it in this town. One is to be
Good. Now that Mike has been banned, we can begin. Yeah, I agree with that, Mike. It does annoy me that, like, timeouts remove previous chats. I've talked about this previously. I feel like banning people should remove previous chats. But I wish there was, like, a mute function. Or, like, kind of an in-between. Because I feel like it's an appropriate time to be like, hey, stop talking. But what you have said previously is not necessarily an issue. And I think that potentially could be helpful, or like, you know, if someone keeps backseating or something like that, you can be like, hey, like, stop backseating or I'll have to mute you. If they keep doing it, you can be like, mute. You're muted for a minute. Like, understand that this is because you keep fucking backseating. So, you know, I don't necessarily need to wipe all your previous interactions. I just need you to shut the fuck up for a minute. But yes, welcome in. It's Tuesday. Ando had his, like, department meeting today, which was interesting. Well, yeah, department meeting, I guess you could call it that. Which was an interesting experience. We do these things yearly. We do this fucking, like, employee survey of, like, how do you think the company's going? And then we have to fill that out, and then we have to talk about it. It's, yeah. I hate corpo stuff. I've said this before. I really, like, they're all about, like, hey, let's talk about engagement. Like, how can we get people to, like, want to work here? And I'm like, I don't want to work here. Like, no one wants to work here. We're here for the money. I hate the whole, like, you know, how can we make you feel passionate about your work? And I'm like, I don't. I feel passionate about my paycheck. Give me my paycheck. I say this politely. Exactly. Most of what you said was fine. Just chill the fuck out. So yeah, that was today. And speaking of shutting the fuck up, I feel like some people in my department were probably like, Ando, shut the fuck up. Because in these things, no one wants to talk, right? They're online, yeah. See, no one wants to talk in these, right? But that's the problem, is they want someone to talk. They can't just be like, so, what does anyone have to say about this? And it's like, we'll just say nothing. You can't do that. So, like, to avoid the silence, I wind up talking. And I think some of what I say is useful. But at the same time, I feel like some people are probably like, Ando, shut the fuck up. The upside was we all seemed pretty good. The team all seems pretty happy being a team. It's mainly, our gripes are mainly with people outside the team. Because, like, there'd be questions like, oh, you know, the systems and people in our workplace help us get our work done. And a lot of our team answered negatively, and my boss was like, is this internal to the team or external? And everyone was like, external. And I was like, yeah, so, you know, for instance, working with a department that I won't name, and my boss was like, you know what, name them. Like, it's more practical if we actually know what the problem is. And I was like, alright, fuck it, slab making. Eat a dick. Didn't actually say eat a dick in the meeting, but everyone here is a piece of shit except me. Funnily enough, a friend of mine had that happen. A friend of mine had a guy who had worked at, like, his area for, like, 30 years. Apparently the dude was heaps normal. And then, like, one day, like, just started acting weird. And, like, he had to call him in his office and be like, man, what the fuck was going on? Like, and he wasn't even confronting him. He was literally just like, my dude, are you okay? Like, I heard some shit went down this morning. Like, is there anything you want to talk about, sort of thing? And the guy literally, like, came to his office and was like, fuck yous, fuck you all, like, eat a dick, you're all incompetent, like, just absolutely went off his nut, and then was like, fuck you, I quit. And then he found out later, apparently the guy's, like his money had come in, basically, his retirement plan had been like, yeah, you have enough money to retire now. So clearly, this guy had been holding in some of this for a while, and was just like, alright, fuck it, time to burn this bridge in style. Alright. Here's the start of our plan. I'm gonna go get a little mining drill. I'm gonna go start mining some, whatchamacallit, some caramite, I can't remember what it's called. There's my workshop. Why is everything here fucking orange? Object scanner. Dink, 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 dink. Well, at least 2 of these. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like I probably would not go that far, in the sense of, like, I would not be like, cool, it's my last day, time to tell them how I think they're all fucking idiots. Like, because there's no point. I am a strong believer in apathy. Good job, Seribot, kill that man. I'm a strong believer in apathy. A lot of people say apathy is bad, right? But I believe that, particularly for toxic people, the best thing you can do is be apathetic to them. Right? You know, you realize that some people, when you're just like, I don't know who the fuck you are, that really rubs them the wrong way. So, like, there was a dude at work who I've had to deal with who's an asshole. And I haven't said this to him, but I kind of was thinking at the time. I bit my tongue, because we were in a meeting and he basically said, like, that we'd lied to him. And my boss was like, we've never lied to you. And that's true. But internally, like, if he'd pushed the point, I was literally just going to be like, look, I haven't lied to you because you're not worth the lie. Like, it's literally how I think about this guy. I'm like, why the fuck would I lie to you? It's not worth coming up with a lie. And I feel like him hearing that would definitely make him seethe. Oh yeah, exactly. And, like, to my mate's credit, my mate is actually a pretty good guy in this regard, in that he is very switched on to some of this stuff. Because they had another guy in their department who got fired for reasons that I won't go into, because there was a court case about it, and it was actually kind of well known. But he kind of pointed out, like, because everyone was like, yeah, fucking good riddance sort of thing. But he actually made the point of, like, hang on a minute. This guy's done some, like, for lack of a better word, weird shit. You know, has anyone actually checked in on this guy? Has anyone actually been like, hey man, are you okay? Like, Because usually, like, when people start behaving like that, it is often a sign of, like, you know, it can be a sign of mental distress. It can be a case of, like, you know, why did this guy suddenly start behaving very out of character? You know, it turns out his house burned down and he lost everything and he didn't tell anyone. Or whatever it was. No, it wasn't jerked off in the boss's car. Was not that, but where's the Caterium? The Caterium over here. There's one over there that I found, I think. Fuck these floaty islands. Oh, oh, it's fucking shooty guy. Shooty guy. Okay, fair. That's in character for you, Mike. Where was I going with this? But yeah. So we had kind of our group complaint session. The one thing that did make me groan inwardly a little bit is someone on my team. So I am, as I said, I'm very corpo and I'm very non-corpo, and I'm, well, pretty pleasant to work with, as I've been told by most people. A lot of people be like, Ando, I'm real glad that, you know, I've gotten to work with you. You're, like, pretty chill, right? Which is a nice thing to hear. But equally, I am very, like, reserved. I don't really interact with my co-workers outside of work. And I hate, like, team building exercises. I hate stuff where it's like, alright, gang, we're gonna get together and, I don't know, make macaroni portraits, or I don't know whatever the fuck people do at team building exercises. Again, like, I'm really glad that I don't work in the public service, because I have a friend of mine who works in the public service and is all like, oh yeah, there's, like, compulsory team building stuff, and I'm just like, no! Internally, I'm just like, ugh. So, yeah, one of my team members did suggest, they were like, oh, what if we did, like, more team building things? And internally, I was just like, oh, please no. Please can we not? I don't need to build a bridge out of rubber bands. I already have to fix enough shit around here with rubber bands. Can I just do my job and get paid, please? Where's that? Oh, it's up there. That's where the Caterium is. It's up there. Yeah, and I swear I found another... Right, I'm turning around and heading back, because I swear there's more Caterium elsewhere. I don't want to fucking mine all these really inconvenient ones. One of the, if the only upside of being a chef is you can swear at the owner boss and they'll do absolutely nothing about it. Unless you're the chef, they'll never be dick you. Yeah, I think that's, I've heard a lot of similar things from other people I know who've been in that space. This is where I kind of envy anyone. Ah, there's Caterium. Okay. This is where I kind of envy anyone who is, like, Chinese and in the chef industry, because being able to swear in Mandarin or Cantonese, just, but for a chef is just phenomenal. Being able to be like, "Dai lo ma" to someone, just phenomenal. Can I put my little mining droid to work on this? What does it have to be? It has to be on like a node. Fuck. Alright. Annoys me that I can't just find fucking these things around. Alright, well, over to the river we go. Yeah, usually we have to follow professional standards and all that sort of stuff. There have been, shall we say, breaches in etiquette. There was one guy, senior guy, surprisingly enough, and by senior I mean he'd been in the company for a fair while, who did get fired a couple of years ago after I'd started. And yeah, he basically got fired for trying to punch on with someone. They had a very long and difficult install, and there'd been a lot of problems, and so they basically did a debrief of like, so why did things go wrong? Like, what can we learn from this? And one of the other guys who was on a different team basically was like, oh yeah, it was this guy's team. Like, they caused all these problems because they, you know, didn't fucking do this and they didn't do that. And the other guy just decided, you know what? Fuck you. I ain't standing for this shit after a long and difficult period of trying to get this done. And basically just took a swing at him. And on the one hand, I was like, you know what? That guy probably did deserve a smack in the mouth. But then on the other hand, you're also kind of like, yeah, it was stupid. Like, a lot of people in the company, including, like, senior guys who I worked with, were like, this guy's been here for years, he should know better than this. Like, that was stupid. Like, you basically threw away, like, a 30, 35-year career on this guy being a dickhead. Yeah, not surprised by that, Mike. I'm not surprised. Well, not the you being an asshole thing, but I'm not surprised that, you know, oh look, someone in hospitality was terrible to the front of house staff. What's the fucking mob in Sydney who, like, many cases of this against them? I'm not at all surprised. You know what? Let's place two. Place two of them. This is getting out of hand. Now there's two of them. Actually, maybe that was stupid. Maybe I should just build the mining rig. How should I solve this problem? How should I solve this problem? Up and around, or... Okay, apparently there's not enough space in my inventory. I don't know, I'm kind of lucky in that regard, in that I have worked with people I didn't like, but I've never had a bad boss. At least in the place I'm at the moment. My bosses have always been pretty good. Yeah, there we go. Here's a question. I wish I could put in like just a hydro generator. Just put a generator in right here that just generated me power. But no, I need fucking coal or whatever. Here's a question. Is there coal near here? Watch as I detect fucking nothing, because it's a barren wasteland. Jesus, why the fuck is there... Oh! Yeah, it's coal, but it's like 1,000 meters away. Why are all the resources so damn far away? Because I kind of want to build like just a coal power plant down here just to service this thing. Fucking future, no nuclear energy. Sort of. I have uranium, I just have no means to process it. Are we on nuclear energy? No, we're not. We're not, Vasily. I have uranium sitting at my base irradiating me, but I have no way to process it. Do not get you started on it. I mean, I didn't, so I won't. I don't know. My outlook on nuclear is quite simple, which is, if it was viable, sure, but all of the evidence, at least for Australia, seems to indicate that it's not from an economic standpoint. So why bother? Like, you know, if we can't afford it, why, or rather, if there are more affordable options, why go with the nuclear one, so to speak? Who's Hank Green again? Is he the YouTuber with like the blonde hair that looks like a sucked mango and the glasses? I don't know. See, Mike, this is the thing I told you before, right, about apathy, where I'm like, for a lot of these people, I really don't give a shit who they are. I don't know who they are, and I don't care. Had cancer, and his brother read a bunch of YA novels. I'm trying to remember, was his brother? No. That was that other guy. I was saying, who was the one who wrote The Fault in Our Stars or whatever? I don't know. I can't remember these things. The only real beef with nuclear is RBMK reactors. Funnily enough, Vasily, we were actually talking about RBMK reactors last night. I have feelings on RBMK reactors, in the sense of, I think that, yes, they have faults. No, the fault was not the Soviets were cheapskates. It was more about I guess you could say, the state obsession with secrecy, and also, well, then how do I put it? They are dog shit in certain regards. However, the main, and again, talked about this last night, the main motivator for them was the fact that A, they were cheaper to construct, and B, produced twice as much power as their equivalent reactor design. Because the Soviets had another one, which was the VMSR, I think it is. It literally means, like, water chamber reactor or whatever. It's much closer to an American-style one. Again, the reason why the Soviets built the RBMK was because of the fact that they had an energy crisis, and they were like, we need to produce X amount of energy now. RBMKs will produce a shit ton of energy. We need that. It's one of those things where it wasn't just driven purely by incompetence. It was driven by, shall we say, other motivators. Very weird about teenagers dying just to find romance novels. Only started at like 35. I don't know. Someone's gonna write the YA novels, Mike. I don't know. I'm gonna grouse for a minute, as I do. Delirious from sickness. Mike is down with the sickness. Did you hear about R-Truth? I did hear about R-Truth. In fact, I was telling you about R-Truth. And it sucks, because R-Truth is, by all accounts, a cool guy, and I'm like, I feel like they genuinely could have done some good stuff with a storyline with him. Being all like, my man John Cena. Gonna show him the light. Show him what was true. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so grousing about YA novels. So your boy enjoys a good fantasy novel. The problem is I'm finding it increasingly hard to find fantasy novels. Because the genre has become overtaken by romantasy. It's all books about, I fell into another world and now I want to kiss the elf king or whatever. Which again is fine. It's just the fact that the genre has become so clogged with that. And it's interesting because there was actually an article I read that was intriguing, where they were basically saying the publication industry has gotten addicted to it because millennials keep buying them, to the point that, like, Zoomers and Gen Alpha and that aren't buying romantasy because it's so clogged up, and they're like, please, give us stories about normal people. Yeah, and again, the RBMKs have quirks to them. The biggest issue with them, again, was that they had faults early on, and they were kind of rushed into service without fully testing out those faults. And also, the Soviet leadership were kind of like, we have billed ourselves as this, like, peaceful nuclear power that know what we're doing. We can't let people know that these things have problems. So, and there's my lovely chunk of uranium. So they basically were like, we know there are problems, and we'll fix them, but we have to fix them on the down low and not tell anyone. And unfortunately, that just took way too fucking long. Part of it was internal politics because of the fact that you had the like, it was the energy ministry which like controlled the reactors or whatever, and then there was like the power authority. They were I think they were called like the Central Power Authority or something like that, who managed the electricity grid. And a lot of the time, the energy ministry would be like, "Hey, we want to take these reactors offline to like make fixes to them." And the grid controller would be like, "Niet, comrade, we can't do that because we'll have blackouts. Like, we can't do that because we need this power to run factory. And if we have blackouts, then I will get taken out back and shot." Maybe not quite that, but, you know, similar sort of take. So there was a lot of, I guess you could say, interdepartmental conflict. And I've seen some interesting allegations that that was essentially by design. Damn Scots, you ruined Scotland! I mean, Tumblr ruins some things. Tumblr also makes some things good. There are a couple of people who actually have gotten, like, a decent amount of success off of, like, just Tumblr fandom, and I'm happy for them with that. You know, I'm happy that they were able to get somewhere, develop a fan base, all that sort of stuff. Okay, thank you, Mike. But yeah, when I was in the bookstore the other day, I heard one of the shop attendants talking to someone, and they were both, like, gushing over romantasy novels. And, you know, I was glad that they were having a good time, right? I'm glad that they were enjoying each other. But at the same time, I was really tempted to go over to her after that conversation and be like, "Hey, can you give me some book recommendations that are the exact opposite of what you've just talked about?" You know, not that I don't like your book recommendations, it's more just that I would like something that's not that. Oh look, I had a bunch of these left over. Oh yeah, no, again, that stuff definitely happened. From what my Russian history lecturer told me at university, and to be clear, this guy was not only a lecturer in Russian history, he was from Russia. He grew up in a place called Magnitogorsk. He was like, yeah, some of that stuff happened, some of it kind of didn't. Not that it didn't happen at all, but he was like, a lot of the time it was kind of like I guess you could say cronyism. He was like, yeah, sometimes if you were in good with the boss, like, you'd get in trouble, but you wouldn't get, like, taken out back. Other times, if people didn't like you, they'd just be like, yeah, fuck that guy. It was kind of like, it's like any workplace, except for the fact that, you know, gulags. Here's a question. I have iron plates. I need iron plates to build conveyors, but The Ando is angered by this. The Ando is angered by the lack of productivity. Okay, am I gonna rip it all apart? Am I gonna rip it all apart, chat? Am I gonna rip it all down? I think I might. I think I might tear it all down. But where to start? That's the problem, but where to start? I don't want to start a new world, that's the thing. I just need to figure out where I'm going to start by renovating my entire production line. I don't want to build a new base. But I think this one is actually sited quite well. Eat to drive tractor. Fuck it. We're gonna drive. We're gonna go back out to where that Caterium is. Need to run a conveyor belt like all the way back. Ah, shiny things in my eyes. Yeah, that's fair. I can understand that it's a rough world out there. We aren't always as lucky as we can be. That's why I've always been brought up to be like, hey, Ando, consider yourself very lucky that you live in the place that you do. And I generally am. It's also one of the reasons why I complain a lot, because I'm kind of like, hey, I recognize I'm lucky to be where I am. I would like it to continue being nice. I would like it if, you know, we didn't set the place on fire. Speaking of not setting the place on fire, let's hopefully not stack into these trees. Okay, he says destroying a small bush. Okay, I've got a conveyor down here somewhere that I started. I think I know. There we go. Conveyor belt mark 1. Continuing over the mountain ridge. Is this the way? Do you know the way? Do you know the way? There we go. This is where I want to go. Through that gap. Damn it, I'm out of iron plates. Here's a question. Why is the iron all so far away? Alright, it's time to rejig the production lines. It's time to rebuild. Whoop. Let us not run over rocks. Okay, I think it's time to rejig our production lines. It's time to rebuild. Yeah, I mean, we all kind of saw that one coming, but at the same time we didn't. Like, he wasn't making any secrets about what he was thinking, and yet, somehow, it still happened. I don't know. I think... I don't want to be too, what's the word I'm looking for? Not schadenfreude, but, I feel like, at least based on that mistake, the rest of us have made the correct choice, in that Canada and Australia have both just had elections, and we, shall we say, reacted very negatively to what was going on in the US, and made our decisions accordingly. You can customize your toolbar, and if you hold Alt and scroll wheel, you see more. Ah, I see, okay. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind when I'm eventually doing more complicated things. I need to try and think... Well, I think it's not just learning from the US's mistakes, I think it's also the fact that, we don't appreciate that that particular style of behavior in the first place. All right, we're starting at the bottom and we're working backwards, chat. Oh boy, time for disassembly. Time to take all of this apart. Disassemble. Middle mouse button to copy what I'm looking at. Ah, okay. Again, I'll keep that one in mind. I will admit, you are probably gonna get mad at me, Webedew, because of the fact that I am supremely inefficient and I like it that way. So notice I don't use foundations because I don't want to. I don't care about blueprints because I can't be bothered thinking of actual, like, standardized building layouts. I love my spaghetti conveyors. So if that causes you distress, just understand. No, that's fair. That's fair. And again, I thank you for the help. It's just that some people come in and they see my layout and they're like, "My God, why are your belts everywhere? Why don't you lay it out like this?" And I'm like, "Because I like my belts everywhere. I love my spaghetti." Spaghetti. Well, see, there's an answer to that. There's an answer to that, Vasily, which is make some spaghetti. The power is yours. If it causes you distress, good. The power is yours. You have the power to make the spaghetti. You are the spaghetti master. It's 7:30, what, AM or PM? There's no rule that says you can't have spaghetti in the morning. Who said you can't have breakfast spaghetti? What the? Where did OBS go? Oh, it's because I'm holding control or whatever. That's why OBS decided it wanted to fucking minimize itself. Okay, looks like maybe I'm not going to be holding control to minimize multiple things. AM, 24 o'clock. No, all good, all good. It's just the fact that it is currently 9:30 here. So I was like, is that local time zone or is that breakfast spaghetti? It's 100% doable, Avatar. Make some spaghetti, pour some milk on it just like cereal. You don't knock it till you've tried it. I haven't tried it, therefore I can't knock it, see? Okay. All of our production plants reduced to nothing. One step away from making mac and cheese? I mean, I guess. I'll be honest, mac and cheese isn't really that much of a thing here. I mean, it does exist, but just not that much. Like, there are some places that do mac and cheese, there are some places that don't. Keep these storage containers up. I'm just gonna knock down everything else. Everyone's gonna get so mad at me because I spent all of last night building these manifolds. You'd be like, Ando, you spent all of last night building those manifolds on stream, and now you mean to tell us you're demolishing all those manifolds you built? And my answer to that is, hell yes, brother. The whole thing goes, except for the storage containers. Was I actually using these, or did I... No, I literally just had a storage container of rods. Okay, I see. Great idea, Ando. Clearly I was not paying attention there. Exactly. Breakfast sausage, cheddar cheese. Breakfast spaghetti. There we go. See? Vasily, you can't resist. You can't resist the mighty whims of the Ando. I have hacked your brain. I've inserted the thought within it. Rob the bank and give me the money. Sorry, what? I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't put that thought in your head. God, cleaning this up's gonna be an absolute pain in the ass. There will be suffering the likes of which has never been seen before. Have I heard of hypercannons? Vaguely. They're the, they're like the tube transport things, aren't they? Or, that's the hyper tubes. I know, I've heard vaguely of the idea of you can do, like, material transport with them or something. So, for context, for people who missed me talking about this last night, I am an automation engineer in real life, which means that I play Satisfactory and complain about it, because Satisfactory is actually not close to automation engineering at all. Satisfactory is much closer to programming than it is to automation. It's if anything, I would actually say it's pretty close to network engineering. Arrow Bank, I'm using comedically large spoon. Hell yes. See, this is the problem with today's criminals. No flair, no style, right? If you're gonna rob a bank, use a comedically large spoon, right? Don't just be out here robbing banks. You gotta do things with style, with elan. It's like one of my favorite robberies of all time was a robbery that happened in Japan called the 100,000 yen heist. I think it was 100,000 yen. This was back in like the 1960s. Interesting. Interesting. It's funny, we have a lot of engineering folks come by these streams, and I'll be like, oh yeah, so I'm doing this. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm a student engineer, and I'm like, no judgment, but I'm not surprised by that. But yeah, it was a heist that happened in Japan in like the 60s, and it was, I believe, Honda or Toyota. It was one of the big car companies. Basically, how it happened was they had their annual monthly like bank delivery. So what would happen is executives from the company would go to the bank. They would be given a briefcase with all of the yen in it to hand out to the workers and the paychecks for the executives. And like it'd be like 4 men who would go and pick it up, and they'd be in a car to like protect it. Thank you for the lurk, Keecha. And basically they went and picked up the yen, they put it in the car, they were driving back to the factory when they get flagged over by a Japanese motorcycle police officer. So a police officer riding a motorcycle. And he flags them over, and they roll down the window, and he says, get out of the car, get out of the car. There's been a bomb threat against your car. And suddenly they start seeing smoke coming from out of the car. So they get out of the car and go and run and hide in the ditch. At which point, the police officer gets in their car and drives off. And is never, with the briefcase full of money in the boot. And is never seen again. And after investigation by the actual police, they basically figured out that this guy had like single-handedly done this. He'd purchased a motorcycle. They never figured out who he was. He'd purchased a motorcycle. He had painted it to look like a Japanese police motorcycle. When he approached the car to talk to them, he had a road flare, which he threw underneath the car to make it look like there was smoke coming out from under the car. The guy was never found, and as far as they were aware, like, the money was never spent, so they're not actually sure why he did it. Yeah, real interesting stuff. Real interesting stuff. And it's one of my favorite heists, just because of how simple it was. It was just some very simple social engineering. You know, this guy's a police officer, we should trust him. Actually, no, maybe you shouldn't. Alright. We're tearing it all down, chat. Going back to basics. There's going to be so much lost productivity here. I do love my spaghetti belts, but the Santa heist? Let me guess. Guys dressed up as Santa? There was one a couple of years ago in Switzerland that I quite enjoyed. Which was they robbed a Swiss bank by using a helicopter. They were like, we can't bust in through the ground floor, so they landed on the roof and used sledgehammers to bash in the roofed access door, and were able to bypass basically all the security that way, because all the security was on the ground floor. And I appreciated that because one of the old terms for people like burglars who did break-in artistry was second-story men, because of the fact that they their whole thing was climbing in through second-story windows. You like spaghetti? HQ when building will help you make it more spaghetti because it allows you to clip better. Excellent, excellent. This is vital information for my spaghetti goals. Okay, so hang on a minute. This was a. Is this a? Hang on. Be gone. Get out of here. Also, thank you for the flashbang, Vasily. Alright, those are there. I'm trying to consolidate all of my ore production at the moment. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That redeem I made by myself. That one I drew it and I animated it and turned it to a little video clip that plays when that redeem is played. It's because I kept seeing people on YouTube being like, ex-VTuber flashbangs chat or whatever, and like, you know, I know that they meant panty shots or whatever, but I thought it would be funnier if it was literally just like an actual flashbang. How am I going to arrange this? Because I want storage, and this is one of the things that annoys me about, and I've talked about this yesterday at length. In real life, we use what are called accumulators to deal with this problem. Of if you have different flow rates in a process line, you use something like a storage container or whatever in order to load stuff in and keep a buffer. Like, again, fluid buffer. Like, this is what you do with fluid, but we actually do this with like material, like ore and stuff like that. So, let me check something real quick. I'm just gonna go Google. Pipeline array, balance it. That's it. Let's look on the wiki. The wiki's got all the and how to build things. That's splitters. Even equal amount of material, regardless of the supply bills providing sufficient input. Yeah, manifold. Maybe I should have been using balances instead of manifolds. Yeah. Give enough time, all machines and manifold will run 100%, provided the output items sufficient, and the item speed is not limited by conveyor throughput. Yeah, okay. I get the feeling that was my problem, was just lack of sufficient throughput. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I have an idea. Where's OBS? There's OBS. I need to be able to see. I need to see all your beautiful faces. I have an idea. Oh, I fucking hate manifolds. I fucking despise manifolds. But again, the main reason why I despise manifolds is just the fact that they are an efficient way to do it in game, but an inefficient way to do it in real life. In real life, there are much simpler ways to do the same equivalent to a manifold. That you don't need to do that, basically. It's like you can do this with just like 2 items in real life, like literally just an accumulator, like a conveyor belt and a tripper or something like that. You don't need to build an array of like 8 conveyor belts with splitters and stuff. As I said, I get curmudgeonly about this. I'm like, you don't need to do it that way. It'll do. Not even, but it'll do. Okay. Spaghetti. That'll go there. Pretty sure I've got another belt over here. I might not need 4, I might only need 3 storage containers. There's a cat on your arm. How lucky for you. You have been chosen by the cat allocation system. Do not resist. Yeah, this will do. This will do nicely. Actually, no, this was stupid. I'm a fool and I forgot what I was doing in the first place. See, this is the problem with manifolds and shit. I forget what I'm doing. No, Ando, you fool. You foolish fool. Okay. What I need is splitters. 2 of them and a clingy dog. That's 2 times cat and dog. That is so much dog and cat. Okay, here is the plan. Split them, boys. Want them split. The animal distribution system hit you a few times. Well, I hope it works out well. Hey. I think this will do. Oh, so much for my plans for Caterium. Ah, shit, I do need a 4th. Son of a bitch. Okay, well. Looks like I'm gonna have to put another merger in. Oh well. Oh, actually. Not necessarily. There we go. Come on. Up you go. Aha. I figured it out. Oh shit, ads, no. I will say I saw some commentary recently that I quite enjoyed, which was how wonderful that we, a species that loves to pat things, lives on a planet full of things that love being patted. Like, we adore fluffy things, and we live on a planet full of fluffy things that love to be adored. Cool, excellent. Storage is occurring. I like this. I like that. Okay, demolish this. We don't need this. Okay, we have stockpile building up. That's good. Let's let stockpile build up for a while. In the meantime, what I need out here is I need mergers. God damn it. One merger. It'll do, I think. Actually, no, it won't. Wrong with all these fucking boxes. Hey, Crack Eater, welcome in. How you doing? We're trying to. I've recently demolished my entire factory, and I'm currently rebuilding it because I was not happy with my flow rates. So you will see me grumbling and complaining and trying to get everything to work. And inevitably, it won't work. What am I playing? Satisfactory. It is a game about building factories with endless spaghetti belts. I have conveyor belts running everywhere. Plug that in there. Never heard of it? I'm surprised. It's made by the same people who make Deep Rock Galactic. It's pretty chill. So one of the cats, Spud, does this thing where he puts his claws in the curtains and rests his head on the arm. This is how he sleeps. Interesting. Intriguing. I feel like most people have like cats with weird sleeping habits. I had a friend whose cat would like do this weird thing where it would like stretch out on the lounge, but like it would put its head in like the corner in between the armrest and the cushion and just bury its face in the corner. It always looked like my friend referred to it as like hungover sleeping. They were like, oh yeah, that's just how she sleeps. She sleeps like she's hungover and doesn't want to like see daylight. I'm like, alright, cool. Based cat. Okay, we have a lot of iron ore. I'm still worried. I'm still worried that this isn't enough in feed. Because like this is all backing up. Maybe. How many conveyor... Ando is grumping because he can't quite figure out how he wants to do this. I feel like maybe I should have just put these straight into the conveyors. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this. Let me think for a little bit. Let me think. This is the problem. I need to ponder over the mystery, and then eventually I will come to a conclusion. Okay, so what are my objectives here, Ando? I want to pool all of my resources of an equivalent type. Okay, here's what I want to do. Dismantle you, dismantle you, dismantle you. I want to pool all my resources. I want to build like a iron ore hub that I can then distribute from. How to best regulate the flow. Alright, question. Do you play any Warhammer games? Hell yes, I play Warhammer games. Actually, I have been playing Warhammer for a grand total of, at this point, 26 years. That was a noise. This is Ando's work noise. This is the noise that Ando makes when he's at work trying to figure out how best to solve a problem. Yeah, so I've been playing Warhammer for, yeah, as I said, 26 years. My armies are too numerous to list. I have Tau, I have Chaos Marines, I have actually 2 Chaos Marine armies. I have two Space Marine armies, technically. I have Battle Sisters, I have technically Dark Eldar. I didn't try to build a Dark Eldar army, it just happened. I have several kill teams. I have for Age of Sigmar, I have Seraphon. For Warhammer Fantasy, I have Lizardmen. Oh no, for Age of Sigmar, I also have Cities of Sigmar. For yeah, Warhammer Fantasy, I have Lizardmen. I have a whole bunch of kill teams and like just other small game stuff. I have a bunch of Mordheim warbands. I have 3 or 4 Blood Bowl teams. I got a lot of shit going on. Not all of it's painted. In fact, most of it's not painted, but... You started last year? Well, I mean, better late than never. Playing the Guard. Any particular flavor that you enjoy? Any particular regiment you like? Or you got your own homebrew? Tell me more. Tell me more while Ando runs around in circles and tries to, like, shake his brain into figuring out what he wants. Saturated conveyor belt, saturated conveyor belt. I want to put it all... Let me check something. Alright, here's our first question. What's our mine rate? 30 per minute. So we get 30 per minute. There's 2 every 60 seconds. Canadians and Krieg have UN helmets. A lot of people do the UN helmets. A lot of people do the blue helmets. I think it's just because it's distinctive. It stands out. Let me just build one of these real quick. Okay, so it does 30 per minute. So it takes 1 iron ore. So really, I think I can only have 4 smelters. I think that's my limit at the moment. I think I just have to settle for 4 smelters. And this is the point, though. I really wish I could pool my resources more efficiently. I wish I had a more efficient collector system. Well, I probably could. What's my 60 resources per minute? So it's 30 per minute. This does 6 per minute. So that should be able to feed. So each one of these, in theory, should be able to feed 2 furnaces. So okay, here's the plan. Here's the plan, Chatterino. The plan, I think. Organization. Storage container. Storage container. Storage container. Storage container. 1 in every 10 models of UN liaison. I mean, good luck in the 41st millennium, but yeah, again, I hope you're enjoying it. That's all I can basically ever say for Warhammer is I think it's a great hobby. I have a lot of fun with it, and I only ever want people to have fun with it. Go that way. From there to there. There we go. Okay. Good. I have a few kill teams I need to repaint. 17 or 16 Ultramarines I have for the Deathwatch kill team. Ah, cool. I really hope they give us rules for Deathwatch in kill team, like proper rules. Like, I know you can use the Astartes rules, but like, Deathwatch are literally the ones who came up with the term kill team. Like, can we please just have a Deathwatch kill team? But no, I have a couple of kill teams. I have a Phobos Marine kill team. I have the Astartes one. Got Plague Marines. I have Warp Coven. I've got Kriegers, and I've got Commandos. Oh, and also the Navy Breaches and the Crew. Oh yeah, that'll happen again. I think I know the community sometimes gets flack, but I think, like, genuinely speaking, most Warhammer communities are good. Like, most people I've met playing Warhammer are just chill dudes who like playing with toy soldiers. Like, yes, there are some people out there in the world who suck, but the majority of them, I feel like, get filtered out. I feel like if you're playing with a shitty community, it's usually because of the fact that they are the people who got filtered out of the actual good communities. They were the ones that everyone said, hey, we don't actually want to play with these people because they suck. Store that. I have so many hard drives stored. Navy Breaches, Krieg, and the Exaction Squad. Yeah, I actually kind of wanted to pick up the Exaction Squad, but they keep being sold out, and I'm like, Ando, it's probably for the best. Because I have too many projects. I also play a bunch of other games that aren't Warhammer, so I have a lot of projects. My hobby is having hobbies, I guess you could say. Because yeah, my current project that I'm, well, returning to is Kill Team, not a Kill Team, sorry, it's Age of Sigmar, my Cities of Sigmar army, which consists of 6 steam tanks. 6 steam tanks and 2 cannons. It's not a good list, it's a fun list. I need to return to painting my tanks so I can make them all shiny and chrome. Because they are fun to paint, but they take a while, and I am a little bit slow. But yeah, it is a fun list. I had a lot of fun playing it. It was at the end of the last edition, at the end of 3rd edition, it was inadvertently good. I didn't try to make it good. It just happened. I played against a friend's Ideneth and just absolutely curb stomped him, and I was like, this was not supposed to be this good. It was just supposed to be a silly meme list, and then they updated the rules for Cities of Sigmar, and suddenly steam tanks were worth taking. Give me the ore. Give me the ore. I crave the ore. Ando craves the sauce. But really, the main goal I was going for with the list was just something that would be a low model count list. Because being that I am a full-time employed human, I can't really dedicate as much time to the hobby as I would like to. Painting armies is something that I do enjoy, but it just takes a lot of time. And I kind of had this conundrum where it would take me so long to paint an army that it would never get onto the table. Like, by the time it was done, it'd be like, cool, edition's over. You know, half your list is invalid now. And I'd be like, okay, well, great. I can't actually use my list. Yeah, I haven't played against Guard in a long time. I can't remember what's good for Guard and what's not, but... They got their codex recently, didn't they? So, clearly there must be a bunch of new shiny things you can do with tanks. That's why I really love the, some of the new artillery they got. I've always been a bit of an artillery stan, so I'm kind of glad that, like, hey, we have big explodey things now. Alright, how do I want to do this? I think just each one of these feeds a smelter, I think. No, each one feeds 2 smelters. I think that was my plan. Where are you going? You're going here? Question mark? Wraithlord, just Vanquish Cannon, D6 plus 6 damage. Oof. Man, I was honestly surprised when the last edition, when they were like, oh yeah, here's the new Tau book. Railguns are just, like, mortal wound machines. Like, railguns are just like, cool, you now do D3 plus 3 mortal wounds to whatever you fucking shoot, and, like, ignore invulnerable saves. And I'm kind of like, I understand that people are mad, but I like this. I think they cooked. I think being able to just fucking railgun shit is exactly what most what most Tau players have dreamed of. The Tau players yearn for the railguns. Oh, that's right. Hey! Welcome in, Ada Phasma. Hello, hello. Let me do the shout out. Hang on, where are we? Ada Phasma. Welcome in. Hello, Raiders. My name's Takama Ando. You can call me Ando for short. I'm playing Satisfactory. I'm a turtle and I'm playing Satisfactory. Welcome in. How is your Satisfactory? Raiders, if you need to go and, like, eat, sleep, hydrate, do important life admin, by all means do so. Elsewise, settle in, get comfy. I am currently rebuilding my whole factory. I had a whole layout down here, but it wasn't satisfying me. It was not satisfactory, so I've ripped everything up and I'm currently, like, rebuilding everything. So... Hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of it. Fair warning, I don't use foundations because I'm lazy, and I tend to just do spaghetti belts, so if you're someone who likes very nice ordered factories with maximum efficiency, it's not going to be me. You will not find what you seek here. But if you like hearing me ramble about building weird layouts, by all means, enjoy. I'm glad to hear it was good. What did you get up to? Where are you up to in the game? Because I'm still kind of, like, trying to get towards the end of Phase 2. So, OP Wolfmod, thank you for the follow. Where are they? Where are they exactly? Where are they? Where am I? I need smelter. Okay, so the plan was build many smelters. Turn it around. Okay, smelter 1. 2, 3. Will it fit? Will it fit? Make a giant ring / oval factory. Maybe. Heavy modular frame factory, which I got up and running at to the depot. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I'm still on the, like, early stages of modular frames and other things. Again, because my previous factory was kind of something that I built as I'd been working on it. I'm kind of, the goal here is I'm trying to make a bit more of an efficient system, because the other one was kind of just like, every time I got a new thing, I kind of just tacked it onto the end. That's 2, 2, it's 5, so I need another 3. 2, 3, that will do. But thank you for the follow, Ada Phasma. Where are we? There we go. That'll go. How dare I be missing iron plates? I must steal iron plates from elsewhere. From all the other conveyor belts I scrapped. You will see a lot of this, of me running around, like, scrounging materials. And also, yes, I know my inventory is very full. From all the other random garbage I picked up. Alright, where are we? Where are we? Conveyor belts. No, you're welcome. Welcome in. I hope you have a fun time. Also, thank you, Vasily, for blinding all of our new raiders. I'm sure they loved that. Actually, what I should do... Just demolishing these because I had a better idea. I will stagger these coming down. That's a better idea. Conveyor splitter. It's not a perfect idea, but it's a better idea. Run this up to here. Oh, look at it. The spaghetti cometh. Alright, thank you, Phasma. Enjoy your sleep. Enjoy your sleep. Always important to get good sleep after a stream. I know this because I don't do it. Damn it, I'm out of things. Ah yes, the infamous lurk button that doesn't exist. Yes, thank you for the lurk. Where are we? Where's my plates? I need more plates. Actually, I have a thing full of iron plates I should probably use. The Ando yearns for the plates. Give them to me. Give them to me. Alright, so, just so everyone knows, this is the goal right now, is try and get my smelter array up and running. Or my, yeah, smelter array. Because previously I had a whole bunch of smelters. The problem was that the infeed to them wasn't enough. It wasn't getting enough feed to get all of them running efficiently. So really, I was kind of just choking my system. Exactly. The turtle yearns for the plates. Go. Go. I'm missing iron plates. God damn it. Missing iron plates that are probably right here. Thank you for the iron plates. Okay, should this dare this be enough? No, it's literally one short. God damn it. No. Yes, this will be enough. I have a bunch of crap I can probably drop. Also, welcome in, Anubis. How you doing? Crystal Oscillate. I have so much crap that I could just drop. Use elsewhere. I have alien protein. Don't ask how I got the alien protein, chat. We don't ask that here. Okay, this will feed 3 and then 1. Oh, okay, no, it's 2. 2, that's right. That's right. Flight sim? Nice. Which sim? I'm assuming DCS or... and also, yeah, where did you... to whence did thee fly? Plug that into that. It's me. Okay. Produce iron. Produce iron for the iron gods. Microsoft Flight Simulator, I see. Also to London, then return leg at the moment. Ah, I see. What? 737. I was about to say, what were you flying? Yeah, I haven't played Microsoft Flight Simulator in years. Like, since the 90s. I don't think they had 737s back then. I think they only had, like, Cessnas and stuff. But have you got the full setup, Anubis? Have you got the joystick and everything? Have you got your captain's hat? Because yeah, I like planes. I don't know if I really like flight sims though. Again, maybe it's just because again the only flight sims I played back in the day was like Microsoft Flight Sim 99 or whatever, when the graphics were terrible and it was like, oh look, I'm flying above the green polygons. Please have the captain's hat. I don't know. I'm that weird guy though, who my favorite types of planes are flying boats. I love planes that are both aircraft and boats. And I get annoyed that a lot of flight sims don't have them. I'm like, why? Why? Everyone wants to fly a fucking Antonov or like a Boeing. Let me fly my Japanese-made flying boat. We're producing that ore. So how many? We're producing 100% efficiency. We're at 30 per minute, 30 per minute. That seems great. That seems great. So these all seem to be running at 100% efficiency. That's what I wanted. And now here's the next plan. Here's the next plan. No, I need a merger. Merger, don't I? Oh, actually, how do I want to do this? I've got 8 things. I want to do two to a storage box, or got issues with a lot of Soviet tech. I mean, that's fair. I just know that a lot of people really like the Antonovs because they have the really big transport planes. And there's no, like, for some of them, there's no real equivalent in the West. So some people are like, oh, I want to fly those in Flight Sim because I'll never get to fly it in real life. And, like, I get that. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, everyone has beef with Boeing. It's just that Boeing has beef back and they usually win. Got the car park. Did I say that? No, I didn't say anything. Okay, so this is... Did this just stop? Oh, it's because it's probably at full... Yeah, it's at full saturation. Okay. They're coming out, coming out, coming out, coming out. I want to merge into one thing. Yes, I think I do. I think that's the, yeah, okay. I think I do. I think I want to merger, and then I can split out from that. Yeah, well, I think some of the Antonovs are beautiful. Again, like most planes are kind of handsome, but I also feel like a lot of big planes are kind of nondescript. Like they all look relatively similar. I mean, look, here's the thing, right? My sympathy for Boeing is limited purely on account of the fact that this is the hole they dug themselves, right? Well, it depends. I have sympathy for people who work at Boeing, but just not for management, because again, this is a hole they dug themselves. This is classic corporate mismanagement 101. This is... They put people in charge whose whole shtick was maximize profit, minimize cost, and had no idea about what actually made the business good. They knew what was making them money, but they didn't know what was actually valuable within the business. So it makes me grumpy. You will hear Ando talk about many things that make him grumpy. And again, Boeing is one of those, because back in the day, like if you read about the 747, the story of the 747 was a phenomenal feat of engineering. Because the 747 was the first dual carriage aircraft ever, basically, or civilian aircraft, in that it has 2 aisles down the middle of it and 3 rows of seats. Yeah, exactly. They started thinking more for the share market, but again, they didn't realize that the reason why that they were so valuable in the first place was because of the fact that they had, yeah, exactly, a wide body. Well, more or less. At least that's off the top of my head. Again, it was a long time ago that I was reading up on it, so some of the details may be a bit rough here. But if memory serves, the original concept for the 747 actually came from, I think it was American Airlines. It was like the CEO of American Airlines was hanging out with the CEO of Boeing, and he was like, "Hey man, I got this harebrained idea. I want an aircraft that has a seat layout like this." He was like, "I want an aircraft that has twice as many seats as like any of the current ones have." And the Boeing guy was like, "I can do it. Like, Boeing can make this." And the other guy was like, "Do you want to bet?" And he actually bet like a case of whiskey on it or something like that. Because again, like their whole, like he was like, I can build this thing. And so Boeing dedicated a huge amount of resources to making it come true. Like it was really well engineered. They built a whole massive plant to service producing the 747. And again, the 747's service record in terms of safety was utterly fucking immaculate. Precisely because of a lot of the engineering that went into it. To the point that the guy who test piloted it was basically like, the plane flies itself. He's like, "This is the safest aircraft I've ever flown. Like, it flies itself. It doesn't have problems." So yeah, again, real interesting story in that regard. And it's just a shame that, like, again, Boeing essentially strangled their golden goose. 787, they rushed it, and then Airbus pulled the move with 320 series, and then caught them off guard, and then rushed the MAX into service. Yeah. Well, I think I missed one. I did miss one. But yeah, again, I do love some of that engineering. There's some stuff where it's like, the people who did this were really fucking smart. That's one I actually find really interesting about Czechia, aka the Czech Republic. Because Czechia is a country, is like country that is historically has been determined to do its own thing and like engineer its own solutions to problems and like do good engineering, but they're surrounded by neighbors who don't want to let them. It's like, you know, after World War One, they're no longer part of Austro-Hungary. So they're like, we're free, we can do our own thing now. Then they get annexed by Germany, who are like, "Nine, you will not do your own thing, you will make things for us now." And then that war ends, and then the Soviets are like, "Niet, you will build things for us now." And they're just like, "Man, we just want to build Tatras, okay?" I've traveled on the Max, I've talked to the pilots, and they like the plane. It's just these secrets that Boeing kept in the problems it has. It was avoidable, all the problems, but they can't solve, they don't know about, and yeah, exactly. Exactly. CH-47, I really like the CH-47. I really like all the weird prototype variants of the CH-47. I'm assuming we're talking about the same CH-47, the Chinook, the dual-rotor heavy lift helicopter. I love that thing because it's a big fat chook. But also, again, there was a lot of like prototypes they came up with. There's a really cool one to look up. I don't think it has the same acronym. I think it has a different designation. But it was something the Americans developed during Vietnam, which was a prototype like long-range heavy lift helicopter. It was basically like, we want to combine. It was think along the lines of the V-22 Osprey. It was, we want to combine helicopter with plane. We want something to have the vertical lift capability of helicopter with the long-range fuel efficiency of a plane. And so what it is, it's essentially a CH-47 with a big pair of wings stuck on the fucking side of it. Now the wings tilt when it goes into vertical mode to go up and down. The wings tilt downwards to help control rotor wash and stuff like that. But yeah, it's basically a Chinook with a big pair of wings bolted on the side, just to give it more lift so it can go further. They also experimented with one, I can't remember if it was Vietnam or later, but they basically, so you know this, the CH-130 gunship, which is a Hercules with guns stuck into it? Same thing, it's a CH-47 with two 105mm howitzers stuck out the side. It's fucking ridiculous and I love it. But look, Airbus, I like Airbus. Cockpit setting, yeah, well, I say, I give Airbus credit for a lot of that sort of stuff. The big problem I've heard about Airbus is production, because their other thing is, Eurocopter or whatever. That's their other company, their other subsidiary. And they have loads of problems with production. Because, so for instance, their military helicopter is the MRH-90, their transport helicopter. Australia's ditching those. We're getting rid of those for Black Hawks. Yeah, the MRH-90 is getting ditched by Australia. A little bit controversial. I'm not sure what to think about it. But a lot of countries are also ditching it, like Norway's ditching it. And the Norwegians don't have a problem with them. It's not a mechanical problem. It's the fact that they basically just said, you can't deliver them to us fast enough. You promised they would be delivered by this, Airbus Helicopters, Airbus Space, and Airbus Military. Okay, maybe they've changed the name, because the company used to be Eurocopter. Because their thing was the Eurocopter Tiger was their light-armed variant, which we also have. And then they introduced the MRH-90. So maybe it's changed names, because you know they do that all the time, where it's like, this company, formerly Airbus, formerly, like, Aeroflot, formerly whatever, they changed the name, okay. Yeah, so, the MRH-90, like, they've had a lot of problems delivering those things, actually getting them out of the factory. Yeah, I don't mind the Black Hawk. I'm concerned that Australia is buying Black Hawks simply because of the fact that it's like, cool, we're buying Black Hawks. But aren't the US Army buying, what's their new thing called? It's like the UH-90 Valiant or whatever it's called. The weird twin rotor thing. I'm kind of like, okay, if we're buying Black Hawks, are we behind the curve? Are we buying yesterday's news? But that's just me. But yeah, the big problem with the MRH90 has been deliveries for a lot of countries. They're just not getting them out fast enough. Again, I like the Osprey. I have complex thoughts on the Osprey, because I've talked to some guys who've worked on them, and they've said that they're actually pretty good. They've said the main reason why they have a lot of crashes is just the fact that, or at least this is what they told me, is they said the reason why they have had lots of crashes has been two things. One, pilot error, like the pilot has done the wrong thing, and B is mechanical failure due to overwork. It's basically, they don't have enough of them, and the Marines absolutely flog them so that they're constantly under-maintained because they don't have enough that they can cycle in and out of use. Because I recently saw a thing about, like, a thing about a particular squadron that was retiring them or whatever, and I saw some commentary from someone who was like, yeah, I worked on, like, this particular Osprey, because it had the whatchamacallit, not hull, the airframe number. And he was like, yeah, I worked on that one. It's one of the original production ones. It's like 30 years old, and it hasn't had like a retrofit. Like, it hasn't been out of service. No wonder they're all like falling apart. It's because they're all old and decrepit. Everyone has mixed feelings about 380. I understand as a product came very late and everybody lost interest. Loved the plane. Talked about part of an A380 and you described it as one money input make moves 1 million pounds effortlessly, which is very, very safe. Yeah. And again, that's one of the things I do love about some of those really big aircraft, where it is like, hey, we've made something that is very, very safe. And also moving quite a lot of complexity for quite a little amount of effort, if that makes sense. Organization. Just run all of this into a single storage container is exactly what nature intended. This is what God intended. Actually, I'm stupid. I am very stupid. I am very stupid. I fucked up. I got distracted and I fucked up. It could be a passing thing, but that's true with so much. The big problem the US military has at the moment, I would say for the past 20 to 30 years, well, I was going to say, yes, the UH-60 does have uses, and also, again, you have to understand the current version of the UH-60 is, I think, the UH-60U or UH-60T. Like, it's a much newer version. Like, it has been updated a lot. Airbus changed everything. Rings, Rolls-Royce redesigned their engines, wheels, brakes, avionics, huge rudder, elevators in the wings. Well, again, I'm always a little bit dubious when I hear Rolls-Royce redesigned the engine, because that for me always has 50-50 of Rolls-Royce did a good job or Rolls-Royce fucked up, because they've done that multiple times in the past where it's like, oh yes, we would like you to redesign this engine, and Rolls-Royce are like, great, and then it works fine. There's other times where they're like, we redesigned the engine and somehow made it worse. Oh yeah, XM said, but again, the big issue with the US military is the fact that they take so long to adopt anything, that often by the time it is ready, and I get wanting to be rigorous because of costs and things, they do this thing where it takes them so long to adopt anything that they basically go, well, shit, like, we don't want that anymore. So a great example is the M10 Booker, which they like literally announced that they were adopting like a year ago. The army's just turned around and been like, actually, no, we're not interested in this anymore. Now, sometimes this is political decisions. This is like new sheriffs in town, new guys, you know, like, in charge of the army or whatever, and changes the priorities. Ultrafan now, it's quite efficient. The plane is powering. Ah, I see. I see. I mean, the XM7 actually isn't that... Well, I don't know. The XM7 is basically just a G36 in fancy clothes. The XM7 was not a bad rifle. It's just not... It was not what they wanted. What the army very specifically wanted was they wanted a rifle that would basically exceed the capabilities of their current M4 carbines, and while the XM8 was better, it was... Oh, no, actually, sorry. Not the M7. Ando is old. Ando is old. Hey, Callie, how you doing? Ando is old. I know what you mean. The M7 is the M5. It's the 6.8 big boy. No, I know what you're talking about. I was thinking about the good old XM8, which was the G36, the plastic one from the early, like, late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, no. I'm hoping you're not getting sick, Callie. Hoping you're not getting sick. Yeah, sorry. Ando old man-brained and forgot that they actually have a rifle called the M7 now. Because back in my day, they were calling it the M5, and then they didn't. Or maybe, was it the other way around? Were they calling it the M7 and then they called it the M5? I can't remember. Yeah, back in my day, the big controversial one was they spent, like, 15 years developing a new rifle, and then were like, actually, no, we're not going to buy this, because it's not what we want. It's not 200% better. Is this gonna work? There, that works. Ah. Well, I hope the appointment goes well. I am currently reworking my entire factory. You remember my fields of machinery that lived all over here? It's all gone. It's all gone. I'm plugging everything into this. This is my new baby. And I think I've got the efficiency up. I think I'm improving things. Not really organizing, just making my belts run more efficient, if that makes sense, Callie. It'll never be organized, I forbid it. I forbid it from being organized. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, Wanderer. 20 round mag, it's heavier. Full barrel depth, like 2,000 rounds of full powered stuff, not the training rounds. Yeah, exactly. Full down penetration is good. And again, the big question that a lot of people have been saying is, like, is it going to actually get you what you need in quantity that you need, I guess you could say. I need mergers. I think the big well, it's not a mistake. They fell into an old procurement trap. Also, hello Bubbles. I hope you're being good. I know you like to choose crime, but I also hope that you're choosing not to inflict crime upon your mother. The Su-57. Yeah, the Su-57 I think is interesting. I don't know what to think about it, because I see a lot of people be like, the Su-57 is great, and then a lot of people turn around and be like, actually, the Su-57 is garbage. Does it not have a quick change barrel? I thought the new one did have a quick change barrel. Because what I was going to say is that the trap they've fallen into with procurement with that thing is the fact that they wanted a new machine gun, right? And armies have done this since the machine gun was invented, is the fact that they go, we want a new machine gun, but the machine gun has to match our rifle and vice versa, because we don't want to supply two different types of ammunition. So they wind up either adopting a rifle round that's terrible or a machine gun round that's terrible. A great example is the Japanese Type 11 light machine gun, which was a cool concept. The Type 11's really cool. It's the one that has the hopper on the side, and the idea is it feeds from stripper clips. You just throw a whole bunch of stripper clips in it, like your regular riflemen do, and it just feeds from those. Because the idea was that anyone in the squad can provide it with ammo. The problem was that they increased the pressure on their standard rifle ammunition in the mid-30s, and the machine gun couldn't handle that. So it wound up being a case of, well, we got to supply 2 different types of rounds for the machine gun anyway. Yeah, a lot of armies have run into that problem of, we want new machine gun. Shit, what caliber do we put it in? And I think, again, the rifle in a lot of ways was justified by the machine gun. Like, again, the primary goal was build new machine gun that does new fancy things. Which they kind of did. It's supposed to have better range and all this other crap. But the problem was that they then had to justify it by being like, cool, now we need to build a rifle that matches it. Cease. Cease thee. Oh, that's right. I've oriented this wrong, that's why. But yeah, the not having a quick change barrel is, you're right, that's fucking stupid. But also, and I'm not going to lie to you, not the first time it happened. Strangely enough, the Americans have a long history of being garbage at designing machine guns. Read the history of the M60. The M60 is actually a surprisingly good gun. It gets a bad rap. But there were some decisions in that gun that were just fully bizarre. Like, so most MGs have a quick change barrel, and most of them have a means of changing that barrel, right? So a great example is the MG42, right? The classic, you know, swarm of angry bees, yeah? The MG42 has a quick change barrel that you can actually change without having it in front of the gun. The way you change the barrel on MG42 is a little latch on the side you open up, the barrel shroud opens, and then the barrel pops backwards. And there is actually a cutout in the barrel, a lug, that what you can do is you can take the back end of a spent round and stick it in that thing and use it to pull the barrel out if it's too hot, right? Exactly, MG42 and MG3, they both have quick changes, exactly. But my point is that, like, there's no handle on the barrel, but they have a means that if the barrel is glowing red hot, you stick the back end of a casing in, and you can lever it out. They have a way for you to be able to get the barrel out of the gun, right? The original M60, the very first version, not the A1s and stuff, the original M60 had a carrying handle, but the carrying handle was not attached to the barrel, right? The way they expected you to swap barrels in the field was that the M60 was issued with an asbestos glove. You had a big fucking oven mitt that you were expected to carry in your gear. And the idea was that if the barrel got too hot, you put on your big oven mitt, and you took the barrel off and you put a new one on. The problem was that a lot of troopers just fucking lost their oven mitt. It was a really stupid idea, which is why, and I think it was the A1 or the A2, they finally decided, hey, let's put the carrying handle... Also, thank you for the follow, Stormy the Void Raccoon. They were like, let's put the fucking handle on the barrel, and that way when we change barrels, you just use the carrying handle to take it off. Like, you know, every other machine gun, like the Sten, and like the PKM, and like so many other guns that have done that. Which is like, how the fuck did it take you that long to figure this out? Cool, we all have these now. I was going to put these to storage bins, wasn't I? Storage bins. So, 4 storage bins. Also, hang on, let me scroll back. I want to see what Anubis said. Look, things whenever playing like the Su-57 and the Raptors compared, we must look at the specifications, we must look at where the aircraft is serving national interest. The 57 aircraft is 5th generation plane. It's, oh, let's say, yeah, it's acts as a flanker. Yeah, that's fair. Well, the other thing with the Su-57 as well is, like, again, there's, whether or not it is, blah, 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 Ando rationaling his thoughts. So the first question with the Su-57 is it fit for purpose? Does it actually do what it's supposed to do? Like, can the thing stay in the air? That's the first question. The other question is, and how well can it do that? The other question is, I've seen a lot of people make claims about what it can do. Now, I've seen a lot of people say things like, oh, it's a lot more maneuverable than its Western counterparts. It's a really good dogfighter, right? Now, again, I don't know how true that is. And then the next question is, okay, it's a really good dogfighter. However, is that relevant? Because a lot of people now say, well, dogfighting is no longer relevant. You know, now is finally the era of true BVR combat, where you can hit someone with a hypersonic missile from beyond the horizon. You know, does it even matter that it can dogfight when it's getting one-shotted by a raptor from, you know, beyond visual distance? Well, no, but that's the point. That's the point, Vasily. So, dogfighting in the era of missiles is still a thing, right? Because you do what's called jamming the WEZ. So the WEZ, WEZ, stands for Weapon Employment Zone, which is the fact that a missile can only... The missile knows where it is. No, but like a missile can only track to a limited extent, right? It has a cone within which it can track. So if you can position yourself outside of your opponent's cone, they can't lock onto you. So the idea of dogfighting in the missile age is you maneuver such that your opponent can't lock onto you. Which was a big thing with the MiG-29, because the MiG-29 had two things going for it. One, it's incredibly maneuverable for its generation, and two, it had an independent gun sight that could move, tracking the pilot's head, and the missile it was paired with, which I think was the RBM-70, I might be wrong, was designed so that it could engage targets off bore axis, which basically meant that it had a wider cone of engagement than most planes did. Basically, the idea was it could hang out outside of your WEZ where you couldn't lock onto it, and when you thought you were safe, you weren't actually, because it could lock onto you. First question, yes, it can stay in the air. Yes, but how well it stays in the air, that's the point. Like, what are the maintenance hours, you know, how many of them can they build, etc., etc. Except it's when there's an air show in my country, chief pilot actually flew one of the SE-57 nearly 4,000 miles to its destination. In my country for the air show, very good range, can also refuel in air, has beyond visual range attacking systems. Kilometers, not miles, okay. Yeah, also understandable, I don't use miles, I'm Australian, we do use kilometers. But yeah, again, it's just like a lot of things. Sometimes it's hard to know, given, shall we say, limited information, and also, like, the shiny factor. Anything new gets overestimated. Yeah, and that's genuinely impressive to increase the WEZ. But yeah, the part of the argument now is it's like, okay, well, it's really maneuverable, but does that really matter? I'm a little bit skeptical on BVR stuff. Yes, I know that technology has improved, but the US Air Force has spent, like, the past 70 years chasing the dream of BVR. The idea of, oh, we'll just, like, snipe people from beyond the horizon with missiles. We're waiting on the War Thunder leak files. I mean, maybe, it might happen. It might happen considering what's going on in the world. That's the other one that I'm kind of question mark on, is, what is it, the Su-57, the Checkmate? That one has a lot of question marks over it. Because it very much seems like we have stealth plane at home. Ah, okay, because I've shut everything down. I'm clearly not using as much biomass, which is why everything's running slow. I see, I see. Man, I got so many boxes. Fields of boxes. Fucking accumulator's not accumulating fast enough. I mean, the production rates seem relatively even though, so that's good. Right, you're down to 67%. Why are you not at 100%? You're creating 30 ore per minute, 30 of these per minute. I think I know why. Alright, chat. Once again, I have fucked up. I fucked up. I really should have just done what I did with my other production lines of just put storage straight after my production units. Really hoping to do Caterium stuff tonight, but instead I'm just doing Natural Entry Policy like Glove. Maneuverability is kind of worthless, but it does show that it has good nose governance, which is essential. Thrust vectoring is useful. Stall maneuvers, yep. Yeah, and again, that's not an unreasonable statement. And also, the other thing as well, it looks great in air shows. Which is what I'm kind of expecting of the, as I said, the Su-75 or whatever it's called. I'm expecting that thing, when they actually get it in the air, to be getting shown off at air shows a lot. Mainly because of the fact that it's basically F-35 we have at home. As far as I can tell, its whole goal is export market, so I will not be surprised if they take that thing to all of the fucking air shows just so they can be like, look, it does cool spinny things. You can make it flat stall. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I honestly don't think it's ever gonna happen. It's one of those things where I think stealth aircraft have kind of become like battleships, in that the risk of deploying them is so high that I think in a lot of cases most of our, like, most people who have them don't. That makes sense. They you know, save them for either very safe employments or employments like where they're absolutely necessary. If that makes sense. And that's also kind of understandable. Like, the whole point of the Raptor was it was to be an interceptor. Its whole job was essentially shoot down other plane. So, and also the American doctrine generally relies a lot more on. So why do I keep clicking my teeth? Bleh. Hurts. Yeah, the American doctrine relies a lot more on establishing air superiority than the Russian one does, which tends to be more about just maintaining contested airspace. The Russians are kind of like, we recognize we probably won't, we won't own the skies entirely, but we can, like, provide some air cover and make things risky enough for our opponents. Whereas the Americans are like, we aim to shoot down everything that moves, and therefore we can operate uncontested within the battle space. Okay, are these now getting up to 100%? Looks like it. Very slowly, but they're getting there. But again, I think much like battleships, they're not really going to get used very much. Again, mainly because I think the other risk as well is the cost and also the technological cost of, if you deploy a stealth aircraft and it gets shot down, the F-117 being a great example of this, if it gets shot down, what's the risk of unfriendly powers gaining access to material from it? That, and also there's the embarrassment factor. That was a big one with the F-117, was when it got shot down over Serbia. There was a little bit of embarrassment of, well, so much for your, air quotes, stealth jet. So much for your thing that's supposed to be, you know, undetectable. I wouldn't say you necessarily own the battlefield, but it does confer certain advantages. And again, it's based on how they wish to fight. The Russians like artillery. The Russians like a lot of artillery. The advantage of having the airspace is that it allows the Americans to do what they like to do, which is be very dynamic. They like to move around a lot. And it means that you can not only do, like, attack by air, you can also do resupply and maneuver by air. You know, you can do air cavalry, you can do, like, large troop movements with aircraft, things like that. And a lot of this, again, a lot of this is holdover from the Cold War, where the American kind of solution to being outnumbered by the Russians was, hey, we can outmaneuver them. You know, if we can dominate the airspace, it means we can move things to where we want them to be. And so, you know, we don't get bogged down. That was at least some of the logic. It's interesting. There is a lengthy debate within just military in general of firepower attrition versus maneuver attrition. And various people will talk your ear off about this over which one is better. Is firepower or attrition... Sorry, firepower or maneuver better? Let's go back to blimps and biplanes. I agree, Avatar. Let's go back to the state of honor. Let us be honorable gentlemen now, Zeppelins. And that was actually, again, like, if you look at Vietnam, a lot of the decisions that the Americans made, and a lot of arguably the mistakes the Americans made, were based on this idea of firepower attrition. It was this idea of, like, you know, have the most spectacular boom that you can get. Super 7 is not as bad as people say. Raptor has a radar cross of a B, Super has a cross-section of a toaster, but that makes sense because the Sioux is bigger and the Raptor, both of them have their advantages and disadvantages, I guess. Yeah. And again, people hum and ha over certain things. The big one with the Sioux, I think a lot of people complain about, is the engines not having shrouding on them. And it's like, okay, what's the thermal profile on that thing? And I'm kind of like, eh. I don't know how much of an impact that'll actually have. The other big one with the Sioux, again, it's like a lot of things. The same with the T-14 Armada, the shiny tank the Russians supposedly built, where it's like, okay, you've got them, but how many have you got, and how many can you build? And also, I've heard nothing good about the Armada, and from what I have heard, it's mostly like, yeah, the army didn't want this. This was a, like, political stunt, essentially. There we go. We're back. Is it gonna tell me I've been playing for I have been playing for 2 hours. What a surprise. What a surprise. We dip after 2 hours. How much more efficiently can you build it? Exactly. And that's one of those points a lot of people have been making as well about the F-35 and the Raptor. Is, like, people go, okay, everyone thought the Raptor was going to be the future of air combat, but look, the F-15's still around. And the F-15's still around for a reason, and the reason is the fact that it's just cheaper. It's cheaper and it does the job, the conventional job, better. Like, the F-15 is much better just for your everyday air patrol and air superiority needs. Alright. We have manufacturing, we have steel. Now here's my next question. How am I gonna farm out my other things efficiently? That's coming in. That's making iron ingots. What do I need currently? Each one of these will split to 2, I believe. I believe I will split to 2. Okay, in this case, I'm going to work backwards. Okay, come over here. Production. Constructor. 1. 2. What's this button do? Oh, that should do something. I'm surprised that didn't work. Let me try something.
Gouge his eyes!
That's what it should have done. That's weird. Normally StreamerBot handles that. It should handle that. Well, again, for general purpose, 100%. The F-15 is a much more reasonable aircraft for everyday purposes. Same with the F-16. It's just that when you need a plane that's fucking invisible, and I mean that in a what's the word I'm looking for? Satirical way. I don't mean they are actually invisible. Hopefully everything else keeps working. I'll keep an eye on that. Because again, I've set things up so in theory they shouldn't be breaking when stream connection dies. Because that happens from time to time. How dare I be missing iron plate? I should go build a machine to build me iron plates. Where's all my spare fucking iron plates? Okay, good. Iron plates. Give them to me. Surrender your iron plates to me. Maybe I should have done this offline. It is taking a lot of time. That and I'm having to kind of like fletch my brain a bit. Yeah, I have mixed feelings on some of the Sues, because some of the more recent ones seem alright, but I've seen at least the performance of some of the older planes doesn't seem to be really that great. I don't know. I'm always, I think, going to be a MiG-29 guy. I think that plane is just so sexy. It looks, I don't know, it looks right. There is a saying amongst steam train enthusiasts that you know something's good when it looks right. Like something that is a good design looks correct. It looks like a train. Now I don't 100% agree with this, but I also kind of agree with it. Everything's broken, Avatar. Alright, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me try some things.
Fuck off!
There you go.
Wow.
There you go, Avatar. Let me try something. Close that. That. Okay, let me see. Let me see if this has had any effect. Will this heal our problem? No, it fucking won't. Why is this?
Great job.
Vulcan? Yeah, I'm a little bit more of a Valiant man myself. I like the Valiant a little bit more than the Vulcan. But it may also just be the fact that the Valiant was kind of like, didn't have as illustrious a career as the Vulcan did. I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to close that down. I'm curious as to why it is broken. Why is my rewards link broken? Because again, this should all just keep talking. Settings. Isn't this fun? Ando tech fixing in the middle of stream. Oh yeah. So just so you know, this Friday I'm going to be hanging out on Boyson's channel with my good friend Boyson, talking about streaming stuff. And this is something I'm going to be talking about, is how I have these not uncommon dropouts and how they fucking suck. The OG right flyer. I think you'll mean Da Vinci's apparatus. I can't remember what it's fucking called. The weird glider thing that doesn't actually work. This is in out 9 of 15. I fucking killed it, chat. I fucking killed it. I tried to do the thing and I fucking killed it. Yeah, exactly. The growth definitely came from the rights. There are other people who arguably had as much of a, if not greater contribution, but the rights definitely were the people who kind of got it to a final, I guess you could say, stable iteration where it actually worked. The big thing, arguably, with the rights was they developed, I guess you could say, a way of steering it. Because there were several people who'd come up with the idea of the wing, the annular wing, and, like, the ability to, like, develop lift. Imagine building the right fly with modern materials. Wouldn't be hard. You could do it. You could do it quite easily, actually. It just wouldn't be good, and you'd probably get in trouble from your local aviation authorities for flying, basically. Although it depends, because the right fly didn't fly very high off the ground, so I'm kind of wondering, would you actually be high enough to get in trouble? I want to try something. Hang on, let me... Just gonna kill it again.
Great job.
Oh, it worked. Okay, this time the link actually seems to be working. We fixed it. Imagine the right swing an A380 or a Concords. I mean, maybe. I feel like they'd be intrigued by a lot of it. I also feel like let's start working out, see if I get in trouble. I mean, sure, why not? Because I mean, like, there are kit aircraft. There are ways to build aircraft in like your own garage, sort of thing. There's actually a really interesting guy who was Italian who moved to Australia, and he built some really interesting aircraft designs, for like kit planes to like build in your own garage. Unfortunately, he just had like a spate of bad luck in that, like, he just had shit where it's like, oh yeah, like, the hangar where he was keeping his prototype aircraft caught on fire and the prototype was lost and stuff like that. So yeah, like, again, just really cool designs though. Was it the Aero Truck? I think that was the thing that he came up with. I don't remember. Yeah, he had a really cool little plane that he came up with that I was like, hell yes, I would have bought one of these. And it's always a shame because there's some of those cool designs people come up with and I'm just like, I feel like it was either just the wrong time or just the market wasn't right. Like no one could work out what to do with it. So it unfortunately died despite being a good idea. Put a Cessna engine on the back. No, but I think that's the point, is like, with something like a Wright Flyer or a Wright Flyer equivalent, you could probably power it using like a whippersnipper engine. Like that's literally the whole point. You could probably power it using like literally just a decent enough like 2 or 4 stroke engine. Particularly because considering the efficiencies of modern engines compared to engines from back in the day of the Wright brothers. Select recipe. Iron plates, because I need iron plates. We always need iron plates. Okay, the machinery begins. Okay, it's at 100%. That's what I like to see. Bad to see how to put a jet engine, see how much trouble you get in. Actually, again, surprisingly not much, depending on what sort of jet engine you put on. You could probably come up with a reasonably efficient pulse jet engine, which is basically what the V1 flying bombs used. Fun fact, my great-grandfather was a doodlebug hunter in World War II. That was one of the jobs he did. So not my great-grandfather, my great-uncle. Great-grandfather was in the First World War. Yeah, my great-uncle is one of only 12 Australians to have shot down a V1 flying bomb. Although to be fair, he is tied with another guy as having the lowest score. They both only shot down one, and actually technically he only shot down, well, he shot down half of one twice. So technically one. But it also does help that his squadron, there were a couple of squadrons that did it. His squadron were the least well equipped. They were still flying Spitfires, whereas the other squadrons that did it were flying Hawker Typhoons, which were much faster, and they were much better at engaging the flying bombs. Whereas his squadron was still flying Mark 9 Spitfires, which weren't as fast. Yeah, he had a pretty exciting life. He did a lot of interesting things. At least during the war. After the war, he kind of came back home and was like, cool, I'm just going to become an engineer now. Yeah, interesting stories. I still have his old logbooks and stuff. It's it's an interesting piece of the family history. Oh, that's right. I didn't tell you to actually make anything, did I? Do I want iron plates or do I want screws? They make 6 sets. It's... These take iron rods, don't they? So these make... You know what? I'm just going to go with... that. Steel beams. Wait, so I can build steel beams from... Oh no, do these need... These need steel, not iron. Why is the steel dark, but the iron is light? That's wrong. They should switch that image around. You know what? Iron plates for everyone. Throw that in there, because I need to get rid of it. Adoptive family as a family member in a lot of wars. Yeah, that's fair. Again, it happens. It's a regrettable fact of humanity that we've had a lot of wars. Be kind of nice if we didn't have as many. Okay, so what have we got? We've got that much iron plates. We'll do more plate. That will account for 4, and then the others will do rods. We can later turn rods into screws. I'm liking this. I'm feeling like maybe this has the same problem I had previously, but I'm liking this. Alright, see ya, Anubis. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention for a second. I was lost in design land. My brain was like, where am I gonna put things? I think I've decided. Okay. Splitor. Add in there. Maybe built is too long. Give you too long. And I know there's things you can do. I've seen people do this stuff where they're like, oh yeah, if you put loops in your conveyors, you can, like, make them fit into tighter spaces and stuff. I don't care about that. Actually, I know in theory I could probably stack my splitters and just, like, run it out differently, but yeah, I don't really care. Are you kidding me? Why is it struggling so much tonight? Is there something in the background that is fucking with me? No. Microsoft Teams and shit isn't on. So welcome in, Jugglero. I hope everything is going well. It's not for me. The internet keeps dying and that's not great. Came in for the crash. Fantastic. This is what we love to see. You love to see it. Let me... Now I gotta restart a bunch of stuff. This is the joys of shitty Australian internet. Restart that. Let's see how everything else holds. I know you're in the background chewing my wires, Avatar. I wish you wouldn't. I need that copper. I need that copper. They're too cheap to give me fiber optic. How we doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing glad. I'm surprised you've seen me in your recommendeds. Clearly I'm doing something right. But yeah, welcome in. My name's Takame Ando. You can call me Ando for short. We're doing the Satisfactory. We ripped apart my whole factory. I had a factory going in a different direction and it was a mess. I still love my spaghetti belts, but it wasn't producing enough. It was getting bottlenecked. So I am deciding to unbottleneck it, if that makes sense. So I'm very slowly rebuilding everything. This is all my plate manufacturing, even though it bears no resemblance to actual plate manufacturing, which I've done in real life. Because as I mentioned, whenever people come in to watch me play Satisfactory, I actually work as an automation engineer as my day job. And I work at steel mill. So this is what I do for a day job. Playing the game since release. Love seeing new people here. I come back in and out every so often. So like I play it in kind of in bursts and then get fed up because I build my huge factory and then they're like, cool, we need you to completely reconfigure your factory to do other bullshit. And I'm like, god damn it. In extension to my job, actually no. So I was saying this earlier on the stream and I'll keep on saying it. It may surprise you, but Satisfactory is actually has very little in common with actual automation engineering. There is very little automation in this game because a lot of the time you can't actually automate anything. You can make some things run faster, but there's no actual way to employ control logic, or at least very few ways to employ control logic. So I actually find Satisfactory is a lot more like programming than it is like engineering. So for instance, I got my, like, lack of a better word, manifolds and things. I've got my in feeds and out feeds and stuff. In real life, you wouldn't have this many conveyor belts. You would literally just have one conveyor belt, and you'd have one conveyor belt running parallel to all your production units, and you would just have a gate or a tripper that would basically go, when you need stock, it just pushes it into that particular unit, instead of having, like, at this point, 8 different belts feeding into machines. So, while I like the game in some ways, it does annoy me sometimes, particularly when I see, like, how to, like, build an efficient factory and Satisfactory, and I look at that thing and I go, that's not a factory, that's a computer. That thing is essentially just calculating ones and zeros. You have optimized a network here. You haven't actually built a factory, my friend. But nonetheless, it's fun. It's fun. And also, if you have any tips for me, feel free to give them to me, because people come in and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you can use this hotkey to, like, do stuff better. And I'm like, I didn't know that. That's very useful. Did I tell these to build iron plates? If it represented the real world, it wouldn't be fun. I think it depends. I think there are fun ways that you can represent the real world. So, like, I was talking about this the other night. What if I was to make a game like Satisfactory, what would I do different? And one of the things I would do different is material quality. It turns out your dog likes the Great British Baking Show. I mean, why not? It's a good show. But, like, for instance, in Satisfactory, like, you have, like, a low-quality iron ore patch or whatever it is. And I think that determines extraction rate, like that's how much you can get out. But it doesn't affect the end product. Like, iron ore going into a smelter produces iron ingots, right? And it's an iron ingot no matter what. What I would do is I would have it be, you have different quality of materials. So like low-grade iron ore, medium-grade iron ore, high-grade iron ore. Depending on what grade you put into your process, gets you the product. So if you put in low-grade ingredients, you'll get a low-grade product. Less you do other things to refine it. So it's like, okay, cool, you put in low-grade product. Now you run it through a decarburizer. Now you run it through, you know, a desulfurizer. Now you know, add alloying elements, and now you can make medium-grade iron from low-grade iron or something like that. So it would be less about managing your belts and a little bit more about managing your process and, like, I guess you could say the stuff that you're inputting into your machines. Yeah, I think it'd be a little bit more fine-tuning work in each of your machines to actually have to say, hey, you need to do it like this. The material quality, do you about the mod pack? No, I haven't actually had a look at it. You did crush, melt, purify, and then make your iron bar. Yeah, I'll give that a look. Again, it probably is a lot to do, and probably more than I want to do. But again, in terms of how I would build a game, this is just what I think what I would enjoy would be there'd be more automation and there'd be more tuning. It'd be more about like, hey, I need to get these things in here at this rate. Let me adjust my belt speed so I can actually manage some of this instead of just having to be like, I need a Mark II belt here and a Mark I belt there. This all seems to be running at a reasonable rate. Well, these are all building steel plates, so in which case we will just centralize steel plate storage. And again, this is also me because again, a lot of my job is with PLCs and ladder logic, and I find a lot of games they'll be like, yeah, this game has like real world style coding in it, and I'll be like, oh, interesting, and then it'll be like, it's C++ or it's Python or something like that, and I'm like, give me ladder logic, let me code in ladder, damn you. Because that's what I do, but no one ever wants to replicate it in video games. And I wanna be able to show off. I wanna be able to be like, see chat, this is how you lay out good ladder code. But who would have thought that, you know, people who program for a living to make video games would make games about programming. Not me. I wouldn't have thunk that at all. Get that. Also, thank you for the eat, Vasily. It worked. I'm glad it worked. It'll do. It'll do. Ando is not proud. Ooh, new desk. Shiny new avatar desk. That's right. I can do that. Thank you. People always come in and tell me, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I'll remember that. And then inevitably, Ando does not remember that. I'm like, thank you, kind stranger. That's so useful, and I will use that forever. And then I don't. Damn it, you weren't supposed to go there. Go there. I was gonna say, be aware, Juggler. I don't use foundations, and it was worse. I do love spaghetti belts. I had spaghetti belts everywhere earlier. I love trying to build just as most convoluted belt system I can. But at the moment, I'm really trying to get this actually kind of running, so I am doing something approaching a layout. But yeah, in real life, I work at a steel mill that is close to 100 years old, and let's just say that things are not laid out efficiently. So yeah, there's a lot of weird jank at work where it's like, oh yeah, this pipe should be, well, this pipe could be straight, but instead it has a kink to go around like a random pillar or something. Okay, there we go. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, I can have that coming in and then do a merger maybe. Or splitter. If it works, well, it's not just if it works, leave it alone, but it's the fact that, like, the company's grown over 100 years and not everything is where it was planned to be. So you only have so much space. And sometimes it's kind of like, you know, they build something and then go, alright, that's in service for 50 years. We don't need that anymore. So a great example is, like, in some ways our setup is quite efficient in certain areas, in other ways it's not. But like, for instance, we used to run open hearth furnaces. We don't have open hearth furnaces anymore. So the area where the open hearth furnaces used to be have been used for other things. But it means those other things that they built there aren't really close to things that are necessarily useful. Like, it's... That makes sense? Like... I hope that makes sense. Some machines that are older than you, many of them. Many of them. I have worked on several mills that were built there in the 1960s. So the mill stands are older than me. There's a lot of stuff that's very old. But the other thing as well is, like, there's old and then there's old, because there are some things where it's like, cool, like the mill stand, right? The actual things that they roll the steel through. Those things will last forever. They're basically just a big metal structure. So you can change, like, you know, they can overhaul them. They can be like, cool, this thing doesn't run well. We'll replace all the hydraulics in it. We'll keep the structure, but we'll replace all the hydraulics. You know, now it runs much better, or other things like that. So... this is not right. I don't like this. Also, Avast the Second. Thank you for the follow. What am I doing? Where am I? Where are the turtles? Where are they? Funny game? I'm glad you think it's a funny game. It's melting my brain trying to figure out flow rates. It's just choking and I don't like it. Here's what I should have done. Instead of doing splitters, here's the plan, gang. Here's the plan. Ava? Okay. Well, I think I'll go with Ava. Go with Ava. We'll see how that works. Be aware. Sometimes I forget people's names. Other times I do things like... my brain will be like, no, Ando, that's an inefficient thing. You don't need to say all the words. Say half the words, and then I say the wrong thing. Okay. Conveyor merger. Okay, we merge the conveyors. We merge in chat. Surprisingly, it's not actually ADHD. It's just it's weird. I am like in my friend group, a whole bunch of people be like, "Oh yeah, guess what? Guess who has ADHD?" And I'm like, "All right, well, guess who doesn't? Still me." I don't know. I am perhaps an outlier in the VTubing world, in that as far as I can tell, I have no mental problems. Saying this without any prejudice. I have no diagnosed mental conditions. I have physical conditions. My eyesight's garbage, but yeah, it's one of those things I always find a little bit funny that people will be like, "Oh, that sounds kind of ADHD." Well, I'm like, "Yep, well, guess what? It ain't. I'm just my brain is just funny." You won't believe I don't. My friends are 100% correct. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I will X to doubt. Yeah, I get that. I get that. And there are times where I think, you know what, maybe I do have a bit of the tism. And then I work with people who actually have tism, and I'm like, you know what, I don't think so. Like, I get that I can hyper-focus on things, but at the same time, like, I've been in conversations with someone who was actually, like, properly hyper-focusing on me about some stuff, about a special interest that I had, shall we say, very little interest in. I got stuck at a wedding talking to a guy who I kind of knew, but he's a guy who's very interested in Christian theology, and I have zero interest in Christian theology, and, like, this was like staring into the sun. This was like having a laser bore into my skull. Yeah, I was being polite, but he really was not getting the hint that I'm like, my dude, I have zero interest in this. And was desperately trying to find a way to escape that conversation. This is true. This is true. This is true. I think staying alive in general is hard. You know, gotta go get money. Why does everything cost money? Why do I gotta go do work for shit? God damn it. Cool. I think now I can do an array. I think this will now work. And you know what? Just to be different, I'm gonna make it run the other way. Okay. Splitters. Lumpers and splitters. Welcome to phylogenetics. Is it lined up? Also, thank you for the follow, Juggalo.
Where are they?
I don't have that problem per se. The one I do have is just random shit happens to me. So randomly in like the start of my 30s, my body was just like, you're going to develop an allergy for reasons unknown. So I randomly just one night had an allergic reaction and had to go to the hospital. And fuck. Yeah, randomly one night had an allergic reaction, had to go to the hospital. And then I went to see the allergist, and he was like, yeah, so we tested you, and it's not actually an allergy. It can be a whole bunch of things, because the thing about allergies, right, is that the histamic response is basically one of your cells panicking. It's your cell goes, I don't recognize this, time to panic. And all the other cells next to it go, hey, that guy's panicking, we should panic too, and it spreads. He's kind of like, yeah, your body's just decided it's going to panic randomly. Basically take antihistamines and hopefully it goes away. So that was me. That was me being like, well, shit, I potentially have something that will trigger me to have an allergic reaction. Don't know what it is. He doesn't know what it is. Look how many think and play. Last night I was watching a dude who's a construction engineer, and he was on Excel sheet planning, and today there's you. Oh, I fucking despise Excel. I hate Excel. Excel's a garbage program. I use Excel every day, but Excel is a program that is designed for accountants and everyone else is forced to use it. I fucking hate Excel with a passion. Fuck Microsoft. Just trying to think about how I want to lay this out, because again, part of it is I'm trying to project forward for yes, I'm going to produce a bunch of iron plates, but these are going to go into things, so it's how can I split out my feeds later? Ooh, shiny planets. Okay. Splitter into... merger into... can I do that? No, it's also very true. I am bad at Excel. These are merges into... Yeah, actually, no. I don't even think I need to do that. I think at current production rates, I can literally just go into storage from here. Yeah, cool. I think this is the... And it's true, I probably am bad at Excel. Like, I'm not great at doing macros in it and stuff. But also, to be fair, I don't need to. Most of what I do in Excel is, for lack of a better word, data management. So, we'll have, like, here's our tag list from our PLC. It contains 1,000 tags. And it'll usually be me, like, doing tag maintenance and stuff, going, okay, we have 5 new tags we need to add. Here's the addressing for them. You know, here's their data types, all that sort of stuff. And then managing those across a bunch of systems. I wish more games did that. I wish more games was like, hey, we're going to render this cutscene in universe, like even if it's the opening cutscene, and we're going to put your characters in it. At the same time, it's also hilarious when like you see my character in Fallout and they're like wearing a beehive on their head or whatever. That was one of my favorite helmets in Far Harbor. There's like a lobster trap helmet, and some of those conversations where you're wearing that lobster trap helmet are so fucking funny. Like, I have a screenshot of me from years ago, which is like my character standing there talking to another character being like, I see. Like, you know, like they're talking about something really important, and here I am with just a fucking bucket on my head being like, I see. I understand your problem. Hey. 33% efficiency. Okay, it's catching up a bit, I think. Actually, you know what? No, I don't. Chat, this was also a mistake. But the Blade Runners from the Doggo Cave? I don't know. I don't think I did. I'm assuming they're like roller skates or something, right? Okay, here's the plan, chat. Get ready, we're about to Spaghetti Max. Sort of. You don't know... Well, I know Blade Runner, the seminal film from 1986 with Harrison Ford in it. I don't know the wheelie shoes. Lets you jump higher and faster? Yeah, I don't think I do know them. Exactly. Sci-fi guys know different Blade Runner. There we go. There we go. Get this around the other way. Alright, we're getting to spaghetti realms. We're starting. It begins. It begins. Hell yes, spaghetti time. If you want them, I'd highly recommend getting them. The recipe is unlocked in the Quartz Tech Tree. I'll go check. I'll go check if I have unlocked them or not. Again, there's a lot of stuff that I kind of unlock and then don't pay attention to, so I'll go and check. People get them from a cave just lying around. Thus the doggo cave. I see. I'm assuming, is this a cave the doggo leads you to, or a cave where you find the doggo? Yes, belt clipping. Here we go. This is the sort of shit I love to see. I love to see it, chat. A cave with at least 15 friendly doggos? Lizard doggos? Doggos that could be my friend? I love the lizard doggos. I've told this story before, but the first time I ever played Satisfactory on stream, the lizard dogs glitched. So the lizard dogs spawned in with, like, you know the big fuckers? You know these guys? They spawned in with their dimensions. So the lizard dogs were huge. And they were big and friendly. Now, this was my first time playing Satisfactory, and I did not know that that was a glitch. So, here's Ando just thinking that this game has giant friendly lizard dogs, and I was like, hell yes, giant friendly lizard dogs. Turns out, yeah, I was disappointed when I spawned in the next time and they were just regular sized. I mean, they're still great, but I was kind of like, where are my giant friendly dogs? Where are my Clifford the big red lizard dog? Also, ad starting soon. Oh yeah, it was a great introduction to my first time playing the game, because I just thought, I was like, cool, there's giant lizard dogs. Alright, cool. We have massive iron production. That's great. And that's just half of my production. That's just on my iron plate production. What are you running at? You're running at 65, but climbing, I think? Good. Okay, we're back. We're back in action, chat. Alright, well, that's iron plate production. Now I just need to copy that for everything else. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, just make a blueprint, and for that I will look up at you and say, oh. I don't know if I have blueprints unlocked yet. Again, I care for them. I'm not a huge fan. So you're running at 100%. You're running at 50%. Why 50%? Why are you not receiving as much ore? Is that because the inflow is lesser on some of these? I think it is. I think it's because this one's getting an inflow from like 2 machines, and that one's from 2 machines, and then these ones are from just from 1. Hate the blueprints in it, but seems to be better in 1.1. Yeah, the thing I wish we could do, I wish I could do, like, a resource hub. I know it's probably in there somewhere, but I wish I could build a building that's a big storage building that's like, cool, you put ore in one side, and then it just has a whole bunch of conveyor outputs, and you can set the rate. Be like, hey, this one goes about this one goes about this one. I am aware that there's an update coming, but I know nothing about it. I know nothing in particular about what it actually entails. What did I come here for? Why am I here, chat? Why am I here? That's right. I was going to check tech trees. Quartz. Yeah, I do have them unlocked, I think. Oh, well, I have the ability to research them unlocked. I need silica. Okay, I don't have the silica for them. Crystal oscillator. Scatter, rebar. Bladed pocket dimension. explosive resonance application. Yeah, so I need silica. This is steel screws. I'm kind of tossing up if this is worth it. This does pipe straight into quick wire. Pipe, quick wire, and stator. This one gives me screw. I don't really have much steel production. This is the problem. My steel production is not great. His cast screws is really good. Don't select any. Reroll. Let me guess. Reroll. Because I have like 3 more hard drives to scan, by the way. Low quality of life. Goon's main thing looking forward to his blueprints connect each other. Belts, pipes. Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay. I didn't know you could do others. I thought you had to pick before you had to run it. You could run another one. Okay, in which case, let's run another one. Okay, I don't need those pipes. Ah, they're soft locked now. I see. Okay. Do I just drag it over and it starts doing it? It does, I think. Or not? In which case, how do I do the all hard drives? Analyze it in the NAM. I'm in the NAM. Ah, hard drives. Okay, this is how I do it. Scan hard drive. There we go. Okay. I've now figured it out. I'm a genius. Well, I might leave that running, and then once that's done, we can check out what we find. Okay, that's useful. That's useful because I'd assumed that they had been smart enough to be like, hey, we don't want people soft locking recipes, so instead we will just have you be like, hey, you only get 2 options and you can't pick anything until you pick one. Oh yes, I see my steel manufacturing isn't running because probably fucking full of steel. Can't scan multiple at once, but after you find the recipes you don't want, you can... Okay, yep. Store them for later. Okay, that's good. That's handy. Oh, that's right. Fix my problem. Well, at least production will be back up over here. Again, this is my not great steel production. At least I've got this running semi-efficiently now. 7% efficiency. Oof. Oof. It's picking up now. At least it's running. And this is why I would love to have a big How do I even? That's a great question. I really don't. Hell yes, quartz crystal. I'll let you keep these for now, doggo. You're a good dog. Yeah, welcome in. I cannot pronounce that. That's some Cthulhu name right there. That's some. I feel like I'm gonna say that I'm gonna either pop my throat out or I'm gonna summon a deep one. Is this not running? Did I not turn this on? Turns out I didn't turn that one on. Oh come on, it's only gibberish. Yeah, but I failed gibberish. I got an F in gibberish. I'm only fluent in nonsense. Not the archaic form of gibberish. Put some leaf in my leaf machine. Leaf. You want leaves? There you go. Make more biomass. This is my biomass production that I occasionally throw things in to then feed all my things, but I have sufficient backlog of biomass. Again, this is the sort of thing that I want. I want to have like a backlog here that then just feeds into these at a constant rate. Biofuel. So these produce biomass. So I have one for leaf and one for wood that merge into biofuel. Biofuel goes into storage. Biofuel comes out of storage. Biofuel goes into my biofurnaces. I had that in case a Tyranid player stops by. Well, I'm waiting for that new kill team to come out, man. The new one, which is the AdMech versus Tyranids. Oh boy, am I keen for that. I think that's gonna be a good time. Need a better, I don't know. Again, as I said earlier, I wish I could do like a big storage facility. A big storage facility with lots of ore in one place, and then I can just feed it out to a whole bunch of things. I like Yellow Dark, I just haven't painted my terrain for it. I really need to. I'm learning about 40k for a few days, and I can finally get the references. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. I've been lazy. I want to do a thing. So, God forbid that anyone have an original idea. Yet another VTuber is going to make content about Warhammer. Thing is, I've been seeing a lot of people doing the, like, VTuber reacts to Warhammer lore, right? Like, a lot of people have done it. Some of the bigger VTubers have done it, right? Where they're like, you know, I'm going to watch Bricky and talk about what he says, right? Which is fine. I got nothing against that. It's just that often on a lot of those things, they'll do things where they'll be like, blah, 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 Chaos Marines are space marines that were corrupted by the powers of the warp. And people will be like, what's the warp? Like, what's this thing? Is that thing? So I kind of want to do some video content, like some long-form stuff that's not Twitch, some stuff that's on YouTube or whatever. That's just like, but Avatar, the Tyranid models are the waifu models. Don't you understand? Don't you see the vision? But yeah, I'd love to do some stuff that's like, hey, here's Warhammer from the fundamentals, right? Here is how the universe works. Now I'm going to explain the lore, right? Like, start out by being like, hey, here's the Materium, here is the Warp, here is the Webway. You know, here's why these things are important, here's what they're used for. Now allow me to explain, like, you know, why that's important. This is the Imperium of Man, this is this is the Eldar, they use the Webway, we talked about that. Well, I'm glad I've already got one person interested, Juggalo. Because, yeah, again, it's one of those things where I just keep seeing a lot of other people when they do React content, they're like, you know, there's a lot of underlying assumptions about things you know, like how the universe works. And they get very confused, particularly when things like sorcery and stuff gets mentioned, and they're like, what's sorcery? 2, okay, Vasily, 2. Fucking bird. Get off my building site. How are these running? Are these all running at... We're at 25% efficiency because... I don't know why. Probably because these are being fed by furnaces that aren't running at full efficiency. Again, this is the problem I have. Oh, is that a Mickey? That is a Mickey. There's a Mickey indeed. 2 minutes to midnight. Oh. Hang on, let me do the shout out. Welcome in, Meerkat Mob. Let me do the Meerkat Mickey. Y'all should go check out Mickey. Mickey's great. What are you up to? Just chatting. What were we chatting about, Mickey? But welcome in, Raiders. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Takame Ando. You can call me Ando for short. M Turtel. We're playing... I was going to say Subnautica, but we're not playing Subnautica. We're playing the Subnautica of the land. We're playing Satisfactory. I'm building a factory, and it's not being satisfactory. I ripped down my whole factory, which was all over there, and I'm rebuilding it. Oh, the Witcher tech demo. Is this for Witcher 4? Is this for the 4th one? Does it look good? Because, like, here's the thing with The Witcher, right? I love the games, but the trailers are always, like, not a great fit for the games. Do I play Subnautica 2? Yes, I played both of them. I played Subnautica and Below Zero on stream. Had a bit of Witcher 3, and then we watched the State on real stream for The Witcher 4. Great. Yeah, tell me what you think, Mickey. Give me that Meerkat expert opinion. Because I love Witcher 3. I was going to play it on stream one time, but I was kind of like, boobies. Can I get away with this? Will Twitch kill me for tiddly? So, we'll see. But yeah, no, I love the Witcher games. I think they're better than the books. I've read all the books, and the games are better. Not gonna lie. It looks really, really good. They show the gameplay, and it looks amazing. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad, because... I was a bit... I don't want to say hesitant. I was just curious about what they were going to do about certain things when I saw the trailer, because I'm like, cool, you know, it's Ciri as the main character. There was kind of always mumblings that they were going to try that. The big thing that concerned me was in the trailer, they have her, like, using spells or something, and I wasn't sure if it was spells or if it was signs, because if memory serves, I think there's a piece of lore that's like, Ciri can't do Witcher magic, she can't do signs, but she can do, like, regular magic or something. So, I was kind of like, like, how are they going to explain that? Everything spawns, it played blindfolded, love that game. I do like, Subnautica. Yeah, I hide in my own little corner. Not gonna lie, I have had probably more people discover me in the past 2 days of playing Satisfactory than I have in the past month. But I think I've just been playing really shit niches. Just not gonna lie, I think I've just been, like, absolutely neutering my own discoverability. I know, allegedly Twitch won't, but it's one of those things where you're always a bit hesitant, particularly early on. And I think this was also before they clarified that. I think they did clarify it was when it was like, oh, so long as it's not the point of the game, then that's okay. I'm big mad about this. I think I know how I have to solve it, but I don't want to. I know what I need to do, but I'm not brave enough. Actually, no, I think I know exactly what I need to do. Alright, time to ruin all my production lines once again. this was kind of what I was going to do earlier. Also, Mickey, if you need to go and do your post-stream stuff, by all means do so. I understand it is late in our part of the world. And Raiders, if you need to go and eat, that's important. Go and do that. Because I'll be going for maybe like a little bit longer. I think I might just finish these conveyor belts and we'll probably call it and find someone else to raid. But thank you again so much for coming in and hang out. Excuse my makeout drawing a censorship. Actually, I did that not with the makeout drawing avatar, but I did have a censorship pick at one point for when I played Panzermädels, which was the tank girl dating game. Because I knew there was some slightly scandalous things in that, and I was like, I don't know how bad this is. Was like, I don't know how much potential boober there may be, and did not want Bezos to take my skull. So, okay, combine these together. Okay, combine. Combine these together. No, that's okay. That's okay, Mickey. I understand. No, it's going really well. It's going really well. I've ripped apart my whole factory and am in the process of rebuilding it. And I've revised it about 4 or 5 different times because it keeps defying me. I'm trying to get everything to produce everything evenly. Yeah, so Vasily, in regards to the skull reference, yeah, I played, this was for Valentine's Day on my first year of streaming. I played the Panzermädels, the tank girl dating game. Yeah, basically, I put a little thing in my OBS so I could censor things if I needed to, because I wasn't sure if Twitch would bonk me or not, because I didn't know how much horny stuff was in the game. So, yeah, I used to have a little icon that if I needed it to, I could pop it up to be like, block away any potential boobs. Protect mine innocent eyes. And a what now? It was like a dating sim, but they were like girls themed after tanks. But also, yes, Mickey, as I said earlier, if you need to go and do your post stream stuff, by all means, go and do that. But thank you so much for coming by to say hi. It's always good to see our favorite meerkat. Okay, hopefully this all works. That goes into that. That goes into that. Conveyor belt too steep. Conveyor belt too steep, my ass. Okay, I'm gonna... Thanks, Mickey. And again, I hope it goes well as well. I'm probably going to just finish off this section of conveyors and then call it as well. So, thanks for dropping by to say hi. And I hope everything goes well. I'll catch you around. Okay, can I... Plug... Yes! Excellent, excellent. It's all coming together. Oh yeah. It's all coming together. What we like to see. You too steep. Be great if I told me that before I built it. Okay, there we go. And realistic... Oh, actually, no, I can do that. What I'll do, I'll now run this up and around. To the Moija. Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in the game by any chance? No. Unfortunately not. Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? R.I.P. R.I.P. Gunny. Build this one further back. It'll do. Hang on. Where are we? Conveyor splitter. One. 2. 3. 4. Okay, I don't have the iron plates. That's okay. Yeah, well, the problem with the inventory boxes is the inventory boxes have too much stuff. I can't carry it all. But okay, it's okay. I'm going to recycle a bunch of it as I need to. That's one of the things that doesn't know me about this game sometimes is, like, for a lot of the big building, I'm like, can I just have a global inventory? Like, can I have stuff that I don't need to carry on my personage? Now, I'm wondering, do I have enough feed through? You're at 100%. You're at 67% and rising, hopefully. Maybe not. There's a way to do global. I go get Sam ore. Okay, I see. Right, hopefully this works. You know what? I don't think I do want that. I think that's actually ruining my distribution. You know what I love about Full Metal Jacket? Great question. What? There's a lot to love about it. It's a really well put together film. I love the fact that basically everything Gunny says he wrote. Which is very strange for, is it a Francis Ford Coppola film? I can't remember, but the director who worked on that, infamous for having a very tight control of all the scripts. Yeah, exactly, just straight up him. Yeah, Gunny was very well acted. So interestingly enough, Gunnery Sergeant Hartman was originally written to be a very different character, and Ali Ermey was brought on as a consultant, and he did a training video to basically assist in whoever was going to be cast in the role, which was like him, like he basically got a bunch of the extras and lined them up and was like, I'm going to yell at you guys and everything, and, you know, walked them up and down and dressed them down and was all like, you know, you will call me, sir, you know, you will call me Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, blah, 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 you know, the whole thing, and the director basically was like, yeah, you're the dude I want, you're perfect for the role, and again, basically was like, just write the lines. Like, they did a bit of workshopping to make them work, but he was like, how would you do this thing? Just do it. So a lot of the stuff he says was basically stuff he made up to just insult the different actors, you know. Also, I'll answer your question, Juggalo. Tell me more. Kubrick, that was it, Kubrick. And yeah, Kubrick was a control freak, and that was one of the things where, again, it was very unusual in that he basically was like, Ali Ermey, like, you have mostly free reign to just script your own lines. So apparently a lot of the stuff he said, like, a lot of the stuff where he's there going all like, you know, where are you from? Texas, only 2 things come from Texas, and all that sort of stuff. Apparently a lot of that was him, like, just ad-libbing. The steel toe boots actually work. Yes. So we wear steel cap boots. If your foot gets run over by a truck, you're still kind of fucked, right? Like, if something heavy lands on it, you're still fucked. However, there are 2 principles, right? The first one is the fact that we do still work with a lot of small things, so it's still important for that for a safety reason. The other one is what's called mitigation. So a great example is helmets, right? I've got a helmet on at the moment. We wear helmets around the place, right? And they actually have a demo video they show us that they actually filmed at our worksite, which is like, here's why you wear a helmet. And they basically had a watermelon and a scaffolding, and they drop a wrench from the top of like a 4-story high scaffolding onto this watermelon, and the watermelon just fucking explodes, right? Like, this watermelon is just annihilated. Then they have a watermelon, they put a helmet on it, and they drop a wrench on it, right? And yeah, the watermelon's still fucked up, but it doesn't explode. It's cracked, but it doesn't fucking explode everywhere. And they kind of explain that, like, the point of wearing a helmet is that, yeah, you'll still get fucked up, but your head's not going to get absolutely annihilated. Like, it absorbs enough of the impact. Like, again, for normal little things, like bumping your head and stuff like that, or like little things, it will 100% mitigate harm. But for big things, it will mitigate harm enough that it goes to being a serious injury as opposed to a lethal injury. Oh yeah, there are different grades of steel toe protection too. And there's also there's different grades of everything. So for instance, I wear regular high-vis, but all the electricians, they wear high-vis, and it has a little formula written up on the top, which is like 30. I think it's like 30 grams per kilojoule or something like that, which is basically means how much electricity the shirt will absorb before it catches on fire. They basically have like not fireproof, but fire-resistant clothing in case they get electrocuted, because it's like, if you get electrocuted at the right voltage, your clothing will basically catch on fire. Yeah, so it protects you even though you're not 100% fucked. Exactly. So in a lot of cases, again, that's what a lot of our protective gear is for. It's a case of like, hey, you might still get injured, but you won't fucking die. Which I very much appreciate. Now again, at the same time, I very much choose the path of not dying in the first place. Damn it, I've ruined my efficiency. I had good efficiency, and now my efficiency's ruined. Fuck it. Ando's hitting save. Ando's hitting save, and Ando's going to bed. Alright, let's find someone to raid. Could raid Raga. That's an option. Could raid Nissel. Who's on right now? Grey Crow. We could raid Grey Crow. I don't know, do I want to raid Crow? These are always the difficult choices. Who do I want to raid? Actually, let's go raid Ellie, because she's doing a partner push. Let's go raid Ellie. When is next tomorrow? No, next is Thursdays. For those of you who are new here, my stream days are Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 8:30 Australian time. Also, this Friday, I'm going to be over on Sin's channel for Behind the Stream, so we're going to be talking about streaming things. And then on Saturday, I'm doing Repo with the gang. Not here, but it's over on Sin's channel, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm going to go raid Ellie. Let me just... Ellie Space Mantis. Because she's doing a partner push, and I figured that would be very nice of us. Here is our raid message. For those of you with the sub, for those of you who do not. My voice is starting to go. But yeah, I'll see you all on Thursday. We'll go over and see the lovely Space Boog. Yeah, thanks all for hanging out and having a great old time with me trying to figure out all my belts. Hopefully in the future we will solve the problem. I'm gonna send you over there, say hi. Okay. Bye.